You are now entering a dangerous liberty zone where God-given natural rights are held sacred and exercised. This is your warning. Tyranny, fascism, and censorship will not be tolerated. Ideas will be exchanged freely. Rigorous debate and open discourse is encouraged. If you are weak and your beliefs are fragile, you should leave now. Prepare yourself. We are now live on the Dangerous Liberty Podcast. What is happening, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's having great. We obviously have an amazing guest with us today, the venerable, the most awesome, the amazing, the guy that everybody likes, Arty Trolls. What's happening, Arty? How are you, bud?
Hey, how's it going? Man, one heck of an intro for me. I don't think I was quite prepared.
How
you doing?
You deserve nothing less, sir. You deserve nothing less.
And I appreciate it.
You're out in Oklahoma.
I think you're doing the real work here, though.
You're out there in Oklahoma. It looks like you guys are going to be getting some tornadoes. We're definitely supposed to get some bad weather. And my point to that is I know there's a lot of people coming across bad weather. So we're praying for you guys. Lots of tornado, a lot of severe weather. You guys make sure that you guys are safe. And hopefully everything will turn all right. Speaking of which, speaking of bad weather, I do have Starlink for internet. And we are supposed to have some wind and thunderstorms come through. If for some reason I lose you guys, Arty's taking over. For some reason his internet falls out, then I don't know, just stare at a blank screen and comment, like, and talk amongst yourself. But we got a great show for you tonight. I guess we're gonna be going through Candace. Y'all are crazy. I get text messages, comments all the time like, Gary, thank you so much for covering this. I don't want to have to watch it by myself. So anyways, that's what we're doing. And it, like I always say, it is good to do. Anyways, so it is what it is, and us addressing some of these things in real time, I do think is important. But man, it is a chore, to say the least. If you guys aren't following Arty, make sure you guys go follow him. His links to all of his socials are down in the description below, so make sure you go follow him. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like, subscribe, follow us as well. And also down in the description is a link that if you want to become a member to Paramount Tactical and support this channel in that way, it's a few bucks a month. It goes a long way. It really helps us out. And I really do appreciate all the members that are out there. I was talking about doing a members only live stream today. I'm going to move that to tomorrow. Lady Luck was supposed to come on at 8 p.m. tonight. She called me up due to some extraneous circumstances. She can't make it tonight. We're probably going to have her on tomorrow or Friday. But long story short, we will be doing a members only stream probably for an hour. We'll see how long it goes or how much, where we can fit you in there and see what's going on with that. But I like doing that, and I like having that interaction with you guys. Real quick, one thing I do want to do, just for giggles, is I do want to show you this right here. So if you're not following me on X, make sure you follow me on X. But I want to show you this tweet from Mark Meckler. Charlie, this is for you. I'm not going to sit by idly while Candace slimes your widow. I don't usually reveal personal conversations online, and I've been very open that I think Candace Owens is evil. But what I've never said is that Charlie told me the same thing. Personally, this isn't something I heard from someone, nor something about which I am surmising. He said it to me personally on one of our hunting trips. Candace and Charlie were not friends. He considered her crazy and mean and unpredictable. Full stop. So all you Candace fans, this is what you are supporting. And look, I've heard this from numerous sources. I know for a fact that Charlie was dodging her phone calls, wouldn't talk to her. All right. Just wouldn't talk to her for the last several years. Those are facts. And we also know that she wasn't invited to his wedding. They did attend her wedding, but that's where we're at. And that's also why that Candace Owens can't produce any videos, pictures, text messages from 2019 and later. And, I was getting into that discussion with somebody else. They were like, oh, they were such great friends. There's hours of videos. Well, there's no hours of videos with either of them together, nor can she produce any text messages beyond 2019. Nikki Rosier here basically is accusing me, trust me, bro, slop. And I think that is so interesting when that's all we get from Candace Owens. I responded, Candace Owens is the queen of trust me, bro. She has zero evidence of a single material claim. And at least you know the source. This is a guy coming out and saying this, hey, this is my personal experience. Yeah, it's trust me, bro, I guess, from his point of view. But what we can say is that all of her sources, every single one of her sources, are anonymous. We never know who they are. And I'm not convinced they even exist. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. And Arty, like, what do you think when it comes to it seems like there's like this cognitive dissonance with the Candy folks that they'll sit there and tell you that she brings receipts, but we never see receipts. I don't know what happened there. Let me get him back up here. There we go. I don't know what's happening here. So Jen here is my producer, and she just went off. There we go. All right. I don't know why. There we go. All right. So, there's this cognitive dissonance that takes place where they'll sit there and tell you there's receipts for everything, but we never see them. And again, all of her sources, all of them are anonymous. Like, we never hear it directly from anybody with anyone's direct experience. Everything is second, third, fourth person. It's hearsay, nothing more than that.
Exactly. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. The only person that she really had was Mitch Snow, and well, I think we see why she prefers to keep her people anonymous. That was pretty clear at this point. I don't think she's going to bring anybody else on to I mean, that's just my guess. It was such a catastrophic failure to even have that guy on. Looking at his background, look at how many times he lied about different ways of getting out of the military. I mean, falling off a cliff to cartels that he couldn't prove whatsoever. Claimed that he had to go through an entire witness protection program, which could not be corroborated, and he didn't even change his name till, what was it, 2019, I believe it was?
2010.
2010. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, that's like, what, 20 years after he even supposedly discovered these tunnels. So it's just completely ridiculous. And then on top of that, the people that are, the whole receipts. When the last time she actually had a good, solid, quote unquote, receipt, she had to pull it. She won't even put it up on her website like she promised with those Egyptian planes. I mean, it was completely ridiculous. So that's why we're now seeing such vague statements come from Candace. Look at her trying to tie Erica Kirk today to, what was it, Next Modeling Agency, where she supposedly had a meeting, possibly trying to either become a model herself with them.
And even that's complete hearsay. It's not like she provided any receipts with it. She said, I had four people tell me. I had 4 people tell me that she went into there. She says, and here's the crazy thing about that. I wish I'm glad you brought that up, and I wish I would have thought about that, bringing that up again. I had people in the comments arguing with me that Erica worked for that modeling agency, and that's what they left. They watched the same show we did, and they left with the idea that Erica Kirk worked for this company who was also tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Allegedly, I know that the president of the company had ties with Epstein, but I've seen no evidence that suggests that he was there all the time. Maybe he was. I don't know, but we don't have any evidence of that. But the point here is that Candace knows what she's doing and how to manipulate her very low IQ followers, because she never said, matter of fact, she specifically said, she didn't work there. She didn't have a modeling contract. She was going in there with some meetings with these suits. And yet all of her followers left with the idea, we got a clear, definitive link now between Jeffrey Epstein and Erica Kirk, when there isn't one. There isn't one by any standard.
Absolutely. And I mean, another thing to point out too is this person apparently had connections to Epstein. Why is Erica's name never coming up in these files, though? Isn't that a little weird? Not her family. Nobody seems to be associated with these files whatsoever. So she has to go out of her way to be like, okay, well, people told me that she might have tried out modeling for this agency over here, but they were connected to Epstein. And it's like, all right, I don't see how this is relevant whatsoever. No, we don't even know if Erica even actually attended. So I don't know. It's all bunk.
Absolutely. And this even goes back to you're bringing up Fort Huachuca and Mitch Snow. This goes back to that as well. Like, we have no evidence that Erica was there, that Brian Harpole was there. He said Representative Amadiah was there. We know that that's not true. He was actually in Congress at the time that she's alleging. So that was wrong.
Yeah.
So we have more evidence suggesting that he didn't see the people that he said he saw. And not only that, you know, just the whole premise of that thing is just so ridiculous, so crazy. And it boggles my mind how people just want to believe this stuff so hard. And then they expect you to prove her wrong. That's the thing that I hear all of the time. Prove her wrong. Yeah. Prove her wrong.
Milo Yiannopoulos, he is the absolute king of just on Twitter all day long saying, I haven't seen anybody prove her wrong. It's like, I don't have to. No. I don't have to do that. She made the claim.
Yeah. It is on her. That's how a normal society works, where if you're going to make claims, you're going to make accusations, it's your job to prove it. I use it all the time, and it is completely applicable. I can say that I saw Bigfoot, and you say, well, show me the evidence, or I think you're lying. And I say, well, just prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. It's proof. Or I can even go out there and take a picture of me in the woods. That doesn't prove that I saw Bigfoot, but that's where we're at in all this. And we've also turned the justice system and all the principles that we've ever had in this country upside down, where it's like, hey, I can accuse you of something. Instead of me providing evidence of that accusation, you are forced to prove your innocence. That's not how American society works. And it's damaging. It's extremely damaging to how we approach things, how we accept what is true and what is not true in this country. And it leaves everybody completely open to psychological operations, misinformation, disinformation, and just manipulation en masse, because that's what's happening. I mean, we are seeing mass manipulation by one Candace Owens, among many others, by the way.
Absolutely. And, you know, I've seen a lot of people get mad on X, and they're saying, oh, it's all the same talking points between us all now with the whole calling her a demon. It's just funny, though, because what is it that she's actively doing? What was one of the number one things that Satan does? He's an accuser. And if you're going to accuse people, I don't mind anybody accusing anybody, so long as they have the receipts to back it and they show it. But when you're just accusing and accusing and accusing and accusing and nothing to show for it, you're going to have people calling you a demon. I mean, it's just common sense at that point.
Yeah, I didn't use that phrase at all until after I saw them saying it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's actually perfect.
Exactly.
I'm completely on board. She is a demon. She is evil. The other
I think it is an evil thing.
It's extremely evil. It's never been accepted here in our society. It never has been, and for good reason. The other thing that's crazy to me is people will spend more time talking about the evidence against Tyler Robinson and claiming that he's innocent until proven guilty, but yet they have 1,000% less evidence against Erica. They will defame her. They will say she's guilty of God knows what else, TPUSA, all of the people. And yet they will sit there and try to defend Tyler Robinson and try to make him out to be some sort of, you know, so hold on.
Absolutely. But yeah, to just to add to that, though, in a sense, if our evidence, I say our evidence, if the evidence in general was weak against Tyler Robinson, I don't think his attorney and himself would be arguing so hard against getting cameras in that in their court case, which just took place yesterday. They filed for another motion to keep cameras and any form of audio out of the courtroom. And you got to ask yourself why. Why don't they want the public to see it if the evidence is so bad?
Right.
You know, we're going to all be able to see for ourselves when this takes place.
What do you think is going to be the response from the candy cult? Because I'm not convinced that it's going to move the needle hardly at all for those people, even once they see a lot of evidence. All the things that they're asking for now, like, well, show me when he took the shot. Show me this picture. Show me this video. What do you think their response is going to be?
Unfortunately, I think a majority of them are going to claim that everything they see is going to be AI or some sort of enhanced AI or something like that. And the next thing, or at least a majority of them, I think there is going to be a few of them that come to their senses when they see it. They're going to be like, okay, well, this is going to be pretty damning in my opinion. I think we're going to have a lot of footage, but I don't know what they're going to show. But with how afraid they are to actually show the evidence and not to have cameras in the courtroom, not to have any audio in the courtroom, I think there's going to be a lot more there, and I think it's going to be surprising.
Yeah. Yeah. I think generally speaking, for, again, the reasonable minded among us, it's going to be incontrovertible evidence without a doubt. So I don't know. We'll see how it all turns out. I do want to show this to you guys real quick. Let me add that to stage. Lisa just put out this video yesterday. Lisa knows, again, she was on yesterday. If you guys aren't following her, make sure you go follow her. But we were seeing yesterday where Candace was essentially accusing Erica of wanting to run for president. And every single time that Candace accuses somebody of something, it's almost always projection. And I thought this was pretty hilarious.
But here is what she said to Andrew Tate.
Been victimized online by something like that before, where somebody takes something abstract and
oh, I'm sorry, this is a different video. This is one's just as good though. So this is Candace Owens talking about how it's unfair to dig into somebody's backstory, right? Going back 10 years, digging up all this trash and somebody. Let's see what she has to say about this.
says, well, this is what must be what she means until they're provided the full context of the clip.
Yeah.
And I also take exception to, I think, digging back 10 years. I don't know who could survive that litmus test. I'm 34 years old today. 10 years ago, today I speak to my audience. I talk about, they call me puritanical. I talk about, not drinking. I think the biggest change has been becoming a mother. And it would really be unfair if we went and found Candace at 24 years old, liberal, dancing at One Oak, and said, well, look at these clips of Candace Owens.
Can you believe that? That would be really unfair, Candace.
And once again, Candace Owens shows herself to be an absolute hypocrite. Please, for the love of God, someone get this girl a mirror, because I cannot with her anymore. I'm so tired of her having standards for other people that she will not even apply to herself. She just thinks that it's so unfair that people could possibly try to hold her to a standard of who she was at 24, because clearly at 34, she's a very different individual. You think? You think that that's the case, that maybe you've grown and matured and changed your views and changed your mind and all of those things, yet you will not extend that same grace to Erica Kirk. And don't even get me started on the fact that she's talking to Andrew Tate in this interview, a man who is facing charges for human trafficking in Romania, as well as fraud and embezzlement and a whole bunch of other crazy things. But yet she wants to make all of these crazy leaps and ridiculous connections to try to say that Erica trafficked human beings in Romania. Meanwhile, she's sitting there laughing it up, having a good old time with a man who actually did those things. She's infuriating.
Could have said it.
She does good work.
Excuse me. I got the black lung. I couldn't have said it any better. This is absolutely true. I mean, her hypocrisy is something that we should all just sit back and be amazed by. Yeah, so this is day 2 of the worst ailment that's actually worse than childbirth. We all know this is scientific, and that is the man flu that I've had. So you guys bear with me on that. I'll try to hit the mute button every time I'm coughing with that. But that is a real issue with Candace. I mean, the hypocrisy and the standards that she holds others to but won't hold herself to is pretty amazing to behold.
Yes, it's unbelievable. I mean, I'm just shocked that she didn't actually contradict herself within the same sentence. So that was it took a little bit of time between her growing there into, growing out of being disgusted from people bringing up your backstory and doing all that stuff. But I mean, this is Candace Owens. How long has she been doing her backstory now? Since before she even had a YouTube channel. She has been digging people's backstories up. She's been going through, she's been using anything she can against anybody that she doesn't like. Look at Social Autopsy. I mean, I hate to keep bringing that up. Well, I say I hate it. I actually do rather enjoy it. But she constantly contradicts herself. She constantly does whatever she can to put herself ahead of even, the people that she respects the most or says she respects the most. It's just a common pattern.
No, you're absolutely right. There is a video, and I don't have it right now, but where Candace is talking about going into the White House, and Colleen Penner brought this up, and I thought this is absolutely true. In that video, she's actually on the stage with George, and she's talking about moving to Washington, D.C., and then she says, until I move into the White House, not we. And I thought this was very, a throwback to yesterday, where she expected Erica Kirk to say, or Charlie Kirk to say, it was actually Frank Turk said, hey, you know what? He was having dinner with his family. And then apparently Candace expected him to say his family and his wife, but because somehow he didn't include Erica separately into that, Candace automatically took her out of that reference, which is really, really weird to me. And I brought it up yesterday. If I said, hey, you know what, I'm going to go up there and visit with my family and my wife, that would be super strange, but apparently not for Candace.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a married man. Anytime I talk about spending time with my family, I just say my family. I never have to include my wife separately. That's a little strange. I mean, I don't consider her family. That's just weird. I don't know how Candace thinks. That's weird.
Yeah. Her dynamic with her husband is the strangest thing I've ever witnessed. From them getting engaged, the complete lack of any sort of, dating time in between there, not talking about anything romantic whatsoever. Just, hey, 18 days into some phone conversations, now we're going to say, hey, we should get married, which is really strange.
Absolutely. And the funny thing about that is we're not even slandering her when we're saying nothing romantic. That was literally her husband's words.
Yeah.
Nothing romantic happened. Like, that's just beyond strange.
It really was. Let me see. I don't know.
Carlson, where he is talking about Mossad agents that he's trying to influence and an anti.
This was a video. This is a video talking about Tucker, and I believe he's a former CIA agent. But let's just listen to this and we'll talk about it.
Israel direction with this idea that I think he specifically said something like they want to hurt all these different countries in the region. Are we being influenced there?
Tucker Carlson's a fantastic comparison to the Netanyahu clip, right? The Netanyahu clip was clearly shaped for all Americans. It didn't have a specific slant. If I recall right, even the text of his words flipped between red and blue. There was no political bias in what he was saying.
That's interesting.
He was talking to Americans.
Right.
Influence literacy is an awesome thing when you start to learn it, right? Tucker Carlson, on the other hand, is clearly pandering to a niche. And it's a niche of people who already doubt, suspect, beyond being skeptical, they're conspiratorial of Israel. Could Israel have carried out false flag operations? Yes, it's possible. Would they choose to do it now when actual real damage is being done by Iran on its own? What's the benefit? What's the benefit of risking the blowback of Qatar capturing a Mossad agent like he's claiming? The blowback is huge. If it's real, now Qatar is like, well, I don't fuck Iran or fuck Israel, right? I thought Iran was my enemy, but now I'm not so sure, but I know Israel's my enemy. It's a huge blowback risk. For what? For one bomb to go off when just leave Iran to its own. It's going to keep launching rockets that keep getting intercepted, and it's going to be the clear bad guy. So it doesn't make strategic sense for Israel to take that risk. Israel is one of the countries that takes the most dramatic risks in the world, but for this, for Qatar, for Bahrain, for any country in the Khaliji Arab world, why? Right now, all the momentum is in favor of Israel in the Khaliji world. Let Israel take the bullets and take the damage and put themselves in harm's way to neutralize Iran, which has long posed a threat to the Khaliji Arab countries. So Tucker doesn't make any sense, but he's shaping his narrative to a very specific niche that already believes in something that doesn't make sense.
Do you pay attention to Tucker?
There are certain influencers out there that I'm just really sad have influence, and Tucker Carlson is one of them.
Do you think he's making this stuff up? Does he believe this stuff and is just saying it and he's misreading the world? Or
that's it. I hope that his journalistic career would give him enough moral guidance and intellectual honesty to not just parrot shit for a reaction or for a paycheck. I would hope. But I don't know Tucker's life. Maybe that's exactly what he's doing. Maybe there's other agenda. Maybe he has gone off the deep end. People change. Who knows? But the vast majority of what I hear from Tucker Carlson, going all the way back to his interview with Putin, it does not strike me as a professional interviewer or professional journalist. Anybody with any kind of ethical guidelines for factually reporting information or vetting yourself before you share an opinion. It's a shame. It's a shame because I think he could have been something so much bigger and better than he is. But maybe he's counting his victory in dollar signs and likes from some subset of crazies. I don't know.
If you like that video.
All right. So with that being said, I know a lot of people have accused, I believe his name is what? Andrew Bustamante. I believe that's his name. I know it's Andrew something. I've heard him being accused of being a propagandist for the CIA too. I don't know if it's true or not, but I do agree with what he's saying. I do think that the interview with Putin looked to me like something different than we'd ever seen from Tucker Carlson before. And that may have been kind of the pivot point. Things definitely got weird from that point on. And at the time, I gave him some grace on that. And it's just like, okay, well, that's just how he sees Putin. That's how he sees Russia. He was definitely more friendly than I would have been to describe Russia and everything that's going on over there. But, like I said, I just was like, well, maybe that's just how his viewpoint is. I respect his viewpoint. I disagree. I wouldn't. There's good reasons why we should be more friendly with Russia than we are. But the fact is we're not. So we have to look at it through that lens. Like there's the relationship we could have that maybe some of us would like to have with Russia, that we probably should have with Russia. And then there's the actual relationship that we have. And it is very adversarial, and we need to be extremely aware of that as well.
Absolutely. And I think Trump is probably incredibly aware of that as well. I mean, there's probably a reason why this has been dragging on between Russia and Ukraine the way it has been. We could have been very, much more adversarial towards Russia, and I'm kind of glad we haven't been, because it probably would be World War III at this point. But I mean, it's just weird to see his interview as well. I thought for sure Tucker Carlson was going to have something happen to him after he called Putin crazy to his face. It was a little weird that literally nothing had happened. I didn't think Putin would just kind of let that slide. So the whole interview was a little weird. I remember it being weird when I first watched it. I'm probably going to have to go back over it. I don't know. And this whole thing with Qatar and Israel doing these, false flags. What has Qatar and these other countries said about it? Like, I don't think they have said that Israel was involved. I must have missed that. Did you hear anything about what Qatar?
They said the opposite, actually. They said the opposite. I played a video, and I've looked that up in the news. Yeah. So they said
they're siding with Israel then?
What's that?
I said, well, I mean, my kind of point with it is like, so all these countries that are just sided with Israel, like that's just not going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. And they specifically said that the different incidents that Tucker Carlson is referring to actually was IRGC operatives. And it was not Mossad, as Tucker has alleged. And that's another thing that I'm constantly seeing now is like, you go through, I put up a post the other day of like 30 different Islam terrorist attacks that were from Islamists, right? And, people will go through there and be like, no, those were all Mossad. Those were all false flags. Folks, come on. Just stop. Stop. Look, I'll even... There's a few of them that aren't that, I don't know, clear or definitive. And I'll even throw 9/11 in there if you want. Like, there's no way for me to prove one way or the other of the actual facts. And quite frankly, I don't care who you are, given the information that most of us have, we can't say one way or the other. I would say that 98% of the evidence points to the fact that we had Saudi Arabians that actually, took over that were terrorists that were linked to Al-Qaeda. Like, there's a lot of other, like Building 7, odd, strange. Like, I don't know. I would like some better explanation of some of those things. But again, absolutely, we can go through a list of like the last 30 years of terrorist attacks here in the United States, and those were Muslims. Those were Muslims, and we can pretend otherwise. And I don't even care if you want to make the case. I don't even care if you want to make the case, hey, Israel's a threat, but also Muslims are a threat. I'm fine with that. All right, fine. I'll buy into that. But when you sit there and say, no. Muslims aren't a threat to us at all, because that's what they do. They cover for the Islamists, and that's the thing that blows my mind. And then they try to blame everything that they've done on Israel, and that's where I'm like, no, I'm not jumping on this train. That's just stupid.
Absolutely. I mean, I literally hear all the time where people are like, Israel and the Jews literally did everything that is bad in the world. And it's just like, okay, you don't think there might be a little bit of nuance there? Maybe just a teensy bit? You know, I've been seeing it everywhere as of late, and it doesn't make sense to me. And when people generalize that much into just, you know, everything going on in the world being bad due to them, it really makes me not believe it pretty quickly. It's like, there's just no way. You mean to tell me you stubbed your toe this morning because of Israel? That's crazy. You know?
Yeah, it becomes very, very clear that what you're dealing with is someone that's either obsessed with a certain topic or they're just a straight up propagandist. Like,
absolutely.
There's
I blame the chemicals in the water, but you know,
you're not being honest. I mean, that's
exactly
that's what it comes down to. You're not being honest. I'm actually looking for a post real quick because Lynn Pell 33 said, Gary, if you have time, can we talk about the post you put up yesterday from LH Gray, badass Dracula teeth in her profile? She's a pretty interesting character. I do recommend that you guys go follow her. Her post that you reposted has left me so worried. It said, listen the F up. I will pull that up. I will find that. I was just going through my timeline and I didn't see it right away. X does that. It's weird. It's like, you know, you posted something, you go look for it, and it's just not where it should be for some reason. Say smile, MJ, exactly. Erica isn't in the file, so Candy had to do 6 degrees of Epstein to insinuate that Erica was involved with him. And it's just so ridiculous. And you don't even have to do that with Candace Owens and George, because who definitely is in the Epstein files is John Mappin. And John Mappin, he's in the Epstein files, and they're close friends with one another. And she doesn't ever point that out.
Absolutely.
They don't trust the government, military, MSN, yet they trust in nut jobs like Candace. And that's another thing too, is they do trust the MSM as long as it's pushing their narrative. A great example of this, and there's more information coming out, and I don't really care where the chips fall on this, but everybody immediately, all these folks, the Ian Carrolls of the world, if you are on the right, the woke right, the hate Israel first right, or whatever else, they were pointing to New York Times, the Wall Street Journal as proof that the U.S. actually struck with our own Tomahawk missile a girls' school. They'll believe that right away. They have no other indicator of truth one way or the other. Them and Iran. They'll believe Iran. They'll take Iran's word over anybody else's because it helps push the narrative. It's like you're just being disingenuous at that point. There's evidence that goes both ways. Ultimately, their intent there is to try to make the United States out to be a war criminal and that we're conducting a war with war crimes over there. That's not what's happening. Like, if that struck that school, if it was a Tomahawk missile, it was unintentional. There was no way that we intentionally targeted a girls' school. It doesn't look bad. The PR on it's terrible. There's no tactical or strategic value in that target. That's a wasted missile. So, you know, but they will believe the MSN right away if it supports their narrative.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, you know, it's like if MSNBC or Rachel Maddow came out tomorrow and was talking about, and I love Candace, she's so great. Everybody that supports Candace would be like, Rachel Maddow is such a truth teller. They're the same people that were you go back a year or two ago talking crap about Rachel Maddow, but they would happily support that and repost all of her stuff just because they push a narrative when we know Rachel Maddow is a flat out liar.
Absolutely. And it's funny to see those people are the ones that are agreeing with Candace Owens and everything that she's pushing. Tucker Carlson and all of them. It's really weird because it feels like, you know, when everybody said the left left me, well, I haven't changed my position. Most people haven't changed their position, but Candace and Tucker sure have changed theirs. Look at Tucker's, history from when he was on Fox News to when he first became, like, I guess, private, and just how quick he has flipped on Israel is wild. Like, he acts like he's been talking about this since day one, and it's just not the case.
Well, the other interesting viewpoint of that is all of the MAGA and alleged Trump voters, which I'm not convinced that Candace, and I think Tucker has admitted that he didn't vote for Trump. I think he said he just didn't vote. But we can also see, like, Nick Fuentes, who's telling people not to vote. I mean, essentially, Candace is doing the same thing. But you're absolutely right. They're the ones that have completely changed. You and I, I'm assuming that you voted for Trump.
Yes.
We saw the Trump of his first administration. We went into this full well knowing, like, Trump's going to disappoint you. Like, I don't know what president doesn't do that, but you're not going to agree with everything that a president does, even if you voted for them. But what I can tell you is he is the best alternative by far, because what you're trying to convince me to do is not vote in the midterms or to vote Democrat like Nick Fuentes is saying to do. But if you're not voting and you're a conservative, it's a vote for the Democrats. Let's be real. And not vote in 2028 or vote for a Democrat in 2028. Nothing has changed on our side. Like, yeah, I'm concerned about this conflict in Iran. I'm concerned that it could get out of hand. But you know what? He's my commander in chief. We're going to sit back. We're going to trust the process. So far, if we look at Venezuela and other military conflicts that Trump has been involved with, he's handled them better than any past president of my lifetime, for sure.
Absolutely. And it's funny because you always get these people who pretend like they are right-wing, pretend they're Trump supporters for a bit. These quote-unquote groypers who are now coming out and saying vote Democrat, like Nick Fuentes coming out and saying that. They used to go by a different name, and they had a different similar kind of dude to Nick Fuentes by the name of Richard Spencer, and they used to call themselves the alt-right. And he came out and he was saying, vote for Hillary, vote for Biden. I mean, it's just weird. They go, they infiltrate, they try to be one of those Republicans. They try to reason them over to that side and then try to flip them over to Democrat. And now we're watching the exact same thing play out as it always has every single time Trump gets a little bit of power. That's exactly what they do.
And to anybody with a brain, it's really obvious. Look, to be a wolf in sheep's clothing, you got to put the sheep's wool on, right?
Exactly.
Like you got to look the part. And that's what they've done, is they've established themselves. Now, some of them, don't get me wrong, and I think, well, there's going to be some people that become disenchanted because they're selfish, petulant children. And like, you know what? The party's not doing what I want it to do exactly. So I'm just gonna burn it all down. And I think that's some of what we see. But I think you're exactly right. I think a lot of these people, and I think Nick Fuentes is a perfect example of that. And I do think Candace Owens is another example of this, where they've infiltrated the party, they've won you over, they're speaking your language, they're saying things you like. I mean, there's a lot of things that Nick Fuentes says that I'm like, oh yeah, right on, man. High five. That looks good. And then the next sentence, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to be associated with that. But these people know what to say. They know what to do to get you to like them, to believe them, and to trust them. And then the next thing you know, they'll flip the switch, and now you're pissed off at the Trump administration for really no reason at all. And then you're not voting in the midterms. The Democrats win, and you wonder what happened, why your country is such shit 6 months down the road, and why nothing has got done under the Trump administration for the last 2 years. Like, he was president the last 2 years, he got nothing done. Yeah, we lost the midterms. You took away his power. There's nothing he could have done to get done. And now they're going to use that as a bludgeon and sit there and say, you know what, you should just vote Democrat. Oh yeah, let's just vote Democrat. It's going to be so that'll teach them not to get anything done the last 2 years because we didn't have the House and the Senate the last 2 years. He's lame duck president because you caused it, because you're stupid enough to listen to Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and all the rest of them. That's where that goes.
Absolutely. I mean, people just need to wake up and ask themselves this. If I vote this Democrat in, what exactly is he going to do for me? And I think everybody's going to know the answer. If you have children, what do you think is going to happen to their school systems? I mean, it's not even a question as to what you should do. And they're trying to sow this doubt to sabotage us.
That's right. Like, you like the fraud that was happening in Minneapolis? That was Democrats. You like the fraud that's happening in California and every other, by the way, that's happening in every Democrat bastion in the United States. If you got a big blue city and a big blue state, folks, it's going to be rampant with fraud. We know that takes place. That's what you want. Don't vote. Don't vote. Get mad at Trump because he hasn't arrested everybody in the Epstein files, which, by the way, there's no evidence to arrest anybody with to begin with, from what I've seen. I think the whole thing's a psyop at this point. Or we're going to open the borders back up, and the next thing you know, we have all these people being killed, raped, maimed, all these things, drugs flowing into the country like we had. Like, the drugs coming into this country are cut in half right now. Fentanyl has been dropped by over like 70% at this point. So there's a lot of good things that are happening that, for you to focus on one or two issues and use that to bash over Trump, that's what the liberals have always done in the past. You don't even hear them anymore. They just sit back and watch us destroy ourselves. I'm like, man, I really like that Nick Fuentes. He's the best Democrat operative we've ever had. Tinker Gina Mama. That's a weird name. Tinker Gina Mama. I always wondered why Candace hasn't looked deep into the Tyler Robinson. Is it because she's so jealous of Erica? I think so. The reason that she hasn't looked into Tyler Robinson, and I was talking about this today with somebody else, even though she has even stated that she does think that Tyler Robinson is involved, but she hasn't investigated that avenue at all. And here's why. Because if she goes down that road, it doesn't give her the freedom to come up with all these insane fictional narratives. She doesn't get to talk about the Freemasons. She doesn't get to talk about the French Foreign Legion. She doesn't get to talk about Fort Huachuca. Like, that starts narrowing your ability to operate in a completely fictional zone and make up false narratives. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts are, it's pretty obvious to me that she doesn't want to open anything up in that regard. I mean, she has access to people who knew Lance Twiggs. She has access to people who knew Tyler Robinson. She could be questioning these people. She could be trying to find an in and be like, how does Tyler Robinson know Erica Kirk? You know, she could be going in at that angle. If she thinks Erica Kirk was involved and she thinks that Tyler Robinson had some sort of role, he has some sort of role at least. Yeah. I mean, he's the one that got arrested. How could they have pinned it on him? Made him stay quiet. Made him agree to be the face of this killer, and him actually just be not involved whatsoever with this whole conspiracy theory. That doesn't make any sense. And you would think that he would have at least told a friend. He's a young kid. He wouldn't have told a single person about any of this involvement at all. And Lance Twiggs, he's in Texas. He's been found. Yeah. Maybe she could pick him up for an interview. I mean, it's laughable at this point that she won't look into this.
Yeah. No, I agree. TPUSA is probably just compiling a ton of evidence to slam Candy EI with a lawsuit. I think they're at least keeping that in their back pocket so that if they decide to do it, they're ready to go.
Oh, I do want to bring up a point on that if I could.
Yeah.
So involving her with slamming the whole lawsuit here coming up with TPUSA possibly. She's talking about still how she's emailing Erica Kirk and them. Would it not kind of violate their cease and desist if they give information to keep Candace going? It's probably not a good idea for them whatsoever to even speak to Candace at this point after giving her a cease and desist, because then they're going to look at that and be like, okay, well, why did you keep giving her information if you wanted her to stop?
Yeah.
That's a pretty easy argument to make in court. So when she comes up and brings this crap up, yeah, exactly. It's common sense to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a lawyer, but I would think they probably wouldn't want to speak to her now.
No, it would definitely look bad. Like, oh, you issued Candace Owens a cease and desist, but you didn't abide by it either. So,
right,
like that definitely weakens the case that, hey, you violated this cease and desist. No, I think that's an excellent point. And it's a little bit crazy that Candace thinks that they're going to do that. It's crazy. Forget about the legal portions of this. For you to slander somebody, where I think at the beginning of this, both Andrew Colvett, Erica, TPUSA was trying to give her information to prove just the facts, right? And every time that you do that, operating in good faith and just like, all right, look, I disagree with what you're saying. Maybe you're grieving in some weird freaking psychotic way. Here's some information. But then every time they do, including the 4-hour meeting that Erica flew to meet with Candace, and then they turn that around and turn it into something that no sane person would ever believe it to be. Like, why? Why would any person with any sort of common sense think that would be a good idea?
Exactly. It just doesn't make sense. But, Candace isn't going to volunteer that information.
No, of course she won't. Let me hit a couple other chats real quick. We'll hit the super chats. Serial Scamdus watching has been known to give one the black lung along with apartment-inducing yeast infections. Good speed, merman. My conspiracy, Candace pre-tapes in response to comments pre-planned, pre-written to be posted during the live stream by fake accounts. What do you think? Ooh, that's a good one. So she had convinced me that some of some portions of the stream was live because of just this point. Because you would actually see some super chats at the beginning of the show, and then she would respond to them at the end. If this is being done, if those are pre-planned, then yeah, I mean, I think that makes it completely plausible that every portion of the show is pre-taped, as long as that's coordinated. That's a good thought, Slayer Princess. Gary, appreciate you, man. What are your thoughts on Sean Ryan? What are my thoughts on Sean Ryan?
He's got a great set.
Sean Ryan. You know what? What's your thoughts on Sean Ryan? I'm gonna pass this off. I'll address it. But let me think how I want to articulate this without being mean spirited or anything else. Because I like Sean. It's not like I mean, I would do a show with Sean, whether he came on my show or I was able to go on his show. But go ahead. Tell me what you think about Sean Ryan.
So I've only seen 2 live streams of his. I think he had Tucker Carlson on, didn't he? Am I thinking a different stream? But I definitely watched the one with Charlie Security on there. Okay. Those are the only 2 I've seen. But as for just the only thing I can really comment on in general is his set. I don't know how he is outside of his stream or anything like that. I don't know a whole lot about the guy, but I think he has a pretty good show. I didn't catch him in any lies or anything like that. So I think he does a pretty good job.
His show is extremely well produced. And I was actually having this discussion with somebody that is a producer, and it's like, hey man, you realize like he has at least 8 cameras going on there. All those things are cut. It's extremely well produced. So, I mean, he's probably spending 30 grand per show, at least, maybe more. I don't know. So there's a lot going on with that. I'll say there's a couple things that I find slightly suspicious. By his 100th show, he was getting millions and millions and millions of views. Wow. I think that is a little bit, maybe even less than that. I looked this up one time. The other thing about Sean Ryan is I think he's easily manipulated. I really do. I think he's one of those guys, and I'm just basically talking shit right now, right? I just think that you can get somebody in there, he can say, those people can tell him something about how the world works, and then he runs with that. That's my thought on it, and I could be completely wrong. I don't think that. Really, what I should have just went with in this, because this is the truth, is I don't know. I don't know if his show is some psyop. I don't know if it's boosted by something else. I don't know. But with any show, with any person out there, always remain skeptical. Don't buy in 100% with anything. I mean, that's the standard right there. Simple as that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wish I had more. I should probably check into him a little bit more. I don't really watch a whole lot of YouTubers when it comes to politics. I like to keep my opinions fresh and go to the source myself. Every now and then, I kind of go down the political rabbit hole on YouTube. But for the most part, I really, I have to really do a good deep cleansing after I watch a Candace episode. So you're going to catch me watching a lot of guitar videos.
This is an interesting comment. Sonia L. I was on the anti-Israel, Candace Owens, Ian Carroll train for a hot minute. Gary, you and Matt Tardio speak the truth. Good friends with Matt. Just was texting him yesterday, I believe. Chuck Holton are the only people I watch. I don't even know who Chuck Holton is. I should probably look at his stuff. Yeah, look. This goes back to what we were just talking about as far as Sean Ryan, too. Like, I like Sean Ryan when he's bringing on these people that are talking about UFOs and all those things. Like, I really don't. Nice. He doesn't get into politics too often. Even that, even that I take as a grain of salt. We got to take a bunch of information in, prove or deny that information, cross-reference it with reality, and then come to your own conclusion. Just being good, objective people, right? Critical thinkers. I mean, there's a pretty clear roadmap for that. And when he does have people on that are talking about space aliens or alien craft or weird things happening at the North Pole, I take all of that stuff as a grain of salt as well. And by the way, you guys know I've had Ashton Forbes, and I'm going to have more people. we had man, my brain's not working tonight. I got freaking the flu fog or something. Anyways,
No, that's all good.
Point being is I'm going to do shows like that because that stuff interests me. And I definitely want you to take those shows as a grain of salt. I want you to assess the information, assess the credibility of the people talking about it. Don't assess my credibility on it because I don't know. I'm not somebody that studies physics, or it's definitely not astrophysics and or theoretical physics. So all I'm doing is like listening because it's interesting to me. It's entertainment. It could be educational, but you just got to take this stuff as with a grain of salt. Simply as that.
Absolutely.
The outside world doesn't care about Candace Owens or NF. Who's NF? Oh, Nick Fuentes.
Nick Fuentes. Yeah.
I'm telling you, my brain's not working tonight. I'm running on 3 out of the 2 cylinders. Just joking. Yeah, and I agree with that statement to some extent. Andrew Colvett and Blake Neff were on Megyn Kelly's show today. I'm sorry, but that was super disappointing. I didn't see that. I will actually watch that. I'm interested to see what's going on there.
Well, I mean, at least they're able to talk face to face about it. I'm never disappointed whenever 2 adversaries actually hash it out in person. I think it's worth it.
I almost guarantee you they didn't talk about any of the Charlie Kirk or Candace Owens stuff. I could be completely wrong. I don't think
if they didn't, I will be disappointed.
Yeah, I bet they didn't. I bet they talked about something completely different. See, what's happening with Megyn, let me just be clear, is she's trying to keep one foot on either side of the fence. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to appeal to people that are going to support TPUSA and then still appeal to the people, like give some plausible deniability to the people that are, Candace Owens fans and her fans, because there's going to be a lot of crossover for sure. So I think that's what's going on with that. All right. So I think we've been avoiding this long enough. Let's go ahead and hit play on this, and we will take it from there.
Awesome.
I did want to, you guys do it on your own. Well, I did want to go through some of these comments. I'm going to do it real quick because some of these comments are just unhinged. Let me see. Yeah, here's one of them I love. I love this. Whenever you replay a video of Charlie's, the look on your eyes makes my heart ache. You are a true friend right until the end. Keep asking questions and telling the truth.
Oh, wow.
Candace exposing Erica makes it less likely for her to make it as president or to move her into a position of power outside of TPUSA. Erica should have been mitigated reputational risk by playing nice. Should have mitigated reputational risk by playing nice with Candace Owens. So isn't that part of like an admission that because she didn't kowtow and do everything that Candace Owens wanted her to do, that essentially this guy's admitting that Candace Owens is doing reputational damage to Erica Kirk because her failure to comply, which is crazy to me.
It's just funny because for a second there, I thought Candace Owens wrote that herself.
Yeah. I like this
one right out of her mouth.
Can we do anything as a large group to get Erica away from the military and the White House? She's a complete fraud. I've loved you for years. Maybe you can interview Charlie's parents. Go Max. How unhinged people are becoming and how much they're freaking out about this Air Force Academy appointment, board of visitors appointment, which is, she has no power. She has no power. Like the way that people are freaking out about this, I love it. I genuinely like to watch this. And we could even go through some of the comments in one of my tweets over that. And just hearing people, the delusional nonsense that's being said down there, it just indicates that we're dealing with a extremely sick, mentally ill portion of our society, and they are all gravitating toward Candace. All right,
absolutely.
Let's play the Queen of Lies. We'll get rid of these so I'm not distracted by them. But I'll pull them up later.
All right, you guys. Well, I can tell you that this young lady is my whole mood today.
I'm just telling you right now, if Erica Kirk is ever on a ticket, I am not voting for Erica Kirk. I will vote for anybody else. I will vote for somebody foreign before I vote for Erica Kirk.
I'll vote for somebody's pet fish before I vote for Erica Kirk. I am done. I have seen enough. I can no longer bear people defending Erica Kirk in any way, any shape, any form. It has to end. It has to stop. Okay? It has to stop right now. Because we received some follow-up information regarding Erica's time in New York, confusing time in New York, specifically more details pertaining to what the hell Erica was doing, parked at a modeling agency that was frequented by Jeffrey Epstein. And you know what? This information feels pretty explosive. I would say it requires a response. We can't keep pretending that this is just some godly woman who's just being attacked by the internet. Erica's past is checkered. It's very checkered. Her mother, her acquaintances, everything about this girl should be sending off alarm bells, especially for the people that keep defending her.
I just want to point out the title of this. The title of this is Explosive: What Erica Kirk Was Doing in Epstein's Orbit. And I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. If she's going to rise to the level of her title and what we hear today, because I doubt it will be explosive at all.
Look at the people that keep defending her. They themselves are the biggest red flag. Let's jump right back in. Welcome back to Candace.
Oh.
Back into this and come across each other, the door, up investigations.
All right. Arty, I meant to tell you, anytime that you have something to say, just jump in, yell at me, and we'll pause it.
Oh, no problem. That pause game's good, though.
It tends to be that you get a lot of information when you do that. It really is incredible. And as soon as we opened the door to the plausibility that Erica and Jeffrey Epstein may have come across each other, certainly plausible, they seem to be just swimming around each other, more people began talking and remembering some things. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that we did not go out to Erica for comment regarding today's episode, because it makes very little sense if someone ignores your first email question to think that they're going to be willing to answer a related follow-up question. Let's get back into this. Next Model Management. It was co-founded by Faith Cates. We told you this yesterday, a dear friend to Jeffrey Epstein, all over the emails, 4,000 plus times. Her offices had a ton of Eastern European models that were going through it. She's actually known for having made the careers of various Eastern European models. And like I told you guys, Jeffrey Epstein was around this office a lot. He frequented the office as you would if it was your friends. All of this is a fact. Now, another interesting fact is that Faith Cates, she actually knew Epstein since before she co-founded Next, because she was actually the vice president of the women's division over at Wilhelmina Models first. Wilhelmina Models was co-founded by Fran Rothschild. Okay, Francis.
I just want to make a point, and this is what she does. We've pointed it out 100 times. We're going to continue to point it out thousands of more times, most likely. She's established a fact that is not established. Like, we don't actually know if Jeffrey Epstein was there all the time as if it was her friends. We know that he knew the president of the modeling agency. That's all we know. Everything else is, complete hearsay from Candace Owens.
Absolutely. Yes, it's very typical in the sense that episode 1, she kind of makes a claim, oh, I think she's attached to this. I think she's associated with this. Episode 2 comes out, and it's always, okay, that's an absolute established fact now. Now we can move on. We know this happened. It's like, you never proved that. Just weird.
It is. And it's just typical propaganda, typical information operations, typical lying, slimy used cars salesman, just drivel. That's what it is.
Rothschild is her name. Now, why is that interesting? Because you will recall in Jeffrey Epstein's recently released emails that he said to Peter Thiel that he works directly for the Rothschilds family. He's spreading around their money. I will show you that email here so that we can confirm it. It is Jeffrey to Peter. He says, as you probably know, I represent the Rothschilds. I was hoping to figure out a way for the bank that has $160 billion in management to do something in tech. Best client list in the world, prehistoric products, it can wait. Okay, just asserting that as a fact here. All right. Now, what is also a fact is that the Rothschilds credit themselves with creating the modern state of Israel. Zionism was therefore their platitude. Zionists were also the people that were squeezing Charlie Kirk at the end of his life, morally blackmailing Charlie Kirk, stressing out Charlie Kirk, pulling money away from Charlie Kirk and the organization. Charlie himself said that he was done with the pro-Israel cause. But then he was murdered. And his wife did a complete 180 like LBJ, inviting, frankly, deranged Zionists into the fold immediately. Ben Shapiro, who was in fact an enemy to her husband, effectively opened AmFest. She came out first, and then Ben Shapiro came out second. He was also allowed onto Charlie Kirk's show.
Something interesting about that.
Yeah.
September 9th, Charlie Kirk had Ben Shapiro on his show live. They weren't debating. He was getting information from Ben Shapiro. How could she even call him an enemy? That's wild.
That is a super far stretch. Even if they disagreed philosophically or politically, like to sit there and say that he's an enemy, that is, again, provocative language that she's slipping in there intentionally to create something that doesn't exist.
100%.
Oh, and appeared in person rather in his studio. Very odd. I want you to park that into your mind. She never came out and said anything about Josh Hammer lying when he said that Charlie never blinked on Israel. She never said anything at all about what Charlie was going through. Never said, oh, that donor took money away from him. I'm so angry about that. Not once. Actually, you could argue she did the opposite. She was setting up interviews with the likes of Barry Weiss, pushing Charlie's final book.
Great comment. So this shows the opposite side of that. Here we have people that are clearly like Tucker Carlson, which, by the way, people were leaning on TPUSA to not have on because of the things that he said. And yet they still had him. Look, they're going to have diversity in philosophies and politics. That's what TPUSA does. And I think they accomplished that very effectively, even though, when I listen to Tucker's speech, and I'll tell you, when you compare and contrast Tucker's speech to Ben Shapiro's speech at AmFest, I'll take Ben Shapiro every single time. And I think it was much more truthful, by the way.
I agree.
Yeah.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Okay, we got it. Now, what is also a fact is that some of the employees and some of the people who were associated parties with Next Models remember Erica Franzwey at the office taking meetings. Weird, because Erica Kirk, despite her very illustrious, multi-hyphenated career, she's actually never made the claim to have worked for a modeling agency. So what was she doing? That was a question we went out to her with. What were you actually doing here, parked up at this office? What is your connection here to Next Model agency, Next Model Management? And do you know Faith Cates? How do you know Faith Cates, Erica? Did you see Epstein walking around the office? Fair questions. Well, what we can now confirm, and these are eyewitness accounts specifically, that they recall.
I bet we're going to hear exactly who those eyewitnesses are, and they're going to lead back to extremely credible people. I'm sure, because I'm sure she wouldn't continue to build a case, which, by the way, I'm curious of what she's going to end up saying here. Yesterday, she's already said, I talked to 4 people. So now are we going to say that those 4 people weren't credible and whoever we're about to hear is actually credible, that's going to confirm and deny whatever else is going on here? Or are we just going to use the same people that she was already talking about, but we're going to exaggerate it a little bit more to seem even more credible than what she tried to put forward yesterday? I'm curious to see how this plays out.
Erica because she was taking meetings at the office, and those offices were pertaining to real estate for the models that were coming from Eastern Europe.
Oh my God.
Who were being packed like sardines into apartment buildings. Now, on background.
Does she have to say sardines with with them.
How does she even know that? How do you know how next level modeling agency, how well they treat or don't treat their models that are coming from Eastern Europe?
Exactly. She could have shown a building.
Yeah, like show us the room. I want to see what these rooms look like. You got to show me some receipts, Candace. Like you're alleging so much. Like she'll go through like 3 sentences, allege 15 different things, and never give you evidence of any one of them, and then move on, and then reference back to like, I've already established it as fact that this is what was going on. Well, no, you never did. You never did.
In case you're not familiar with the modeling industry,
People are dumb.
because I am not. The sources confirm.
I just can't get over it. Like, you people that believe this, you're dumb. You are dumb. I don't know what else to say. You're dumb.
That what is typical in the modeling world was for agencies to find places for girls to stay while they were in New York. They tell me, and I'm going to quote this here, I quote, younger girls, when they first get to New York City, they pack them in like cattle into one.
Who is they? I'm going to quote them here. And they say, who's they? Tell me who they is.
Apartment, end quote. Which makes Erica's role curious because multiple people remember and they say that Erica Franzwey was the contact. Specifically, what they recall is she was the contact for a white building on the Upper East Side around 68th Street and 2nd and 3rd Avenue. It's pretty specific. Yeah, that she was the contact. Now, why? What? Erica's the contact. Got these girls coming in. Erica's got these people in, and we've all been trying to figure out what she's doing in real estate. But yeah, that is the memory of the people who were working with and around Next Model Management, real estate contact. And they said, we don't really know why. They don't know why, and I don't know how. Because the issue that I'm having here is that Erica...
Yeah, I don't doubt any of that, Ruger Rouge. I don't doubt that they live with other apartments. But what I'm talking about is the hyperbole that she's including in every description of this. Like, what does that mean? I don't believe they pack them in like cattle. And honestly, I like, again, is it 3 women living to a 1-bedroom apartment? Is it 10 women living to a 1-bedroom apartment? Is it 3 women living in a 3-bedroom apartment? Like, I don't know what that is, but this is just another point of how she will continue to like create. She's painting a picture, and we don't know if that picture is reality or not. I don't know what it is, but you know, this is all indirectly directed at Erica. That's the weird part about all this stuff, right?
Absolutely. The weird thing about it is didn't we discover that Erica got her real estate license after she got with Charlie?
I know. I think it was before. I don't know. We'll have to look.
I thought it was like literally like the week after or something like that. But even if it was a little bit before, you mean to tell me she's been doing this when she was with Charlie and he never found out? She'd be pretty good if that was the case.
Well, I don't even know what this is. Like, what is she alleging here? She was in there.
I think she's alleging that she was buying the properties and, helping them stuff these people in is what she was doing.
I think
but we'll see. I think
she's saying that, and again, we're jumping ahead. She's basically saying that she was helping broker these deals to find apartments for models, and I don't really see the problem with that.
Right.
Did not actually have her real estate license yet. Remember, real estate licenses are a matter of public record. So how could it be that Erica was working with one of the top modeling agencies in New York City, full stop, regarding, what would you describe it as, real estate deals, allegedly? Was she, maybe she was the property manager? Well, I have another clue, actually. And this is a fact.
Yeah, I was hoping.
Erica told people specifically during that time that she was doing real estate deals with her family. Keyword here, family.
Family.
But which family? Who's the family? We can, I think, reasonably assume that she's not referring to her family back in Scottsdale. Lori doesn't do real estate. She's a tech genius, remember? A sustainability tech genius, sustainability. It's much more likely that she's in New York and she's saying this, that she's referring.
We're going full on speculation here, just making shit up as we go, pulling things out of the air, creating from whole cloth just because we have an information void vacuum, whatever. So we're just going to pull whatever we think that is in our little brain that's full of stuff from Dreams with Charlie and stuff it into this box. And then we're going to present that as facts.
To the Rothstein
Absolutely.
family. Now, you will remember Erica at this time was living with Nicole Rothstein, and it is a fact that Nicole Rothstein did work in real estate, not at the Corcoran Group, but she has a long career in real estate. She went to school for real estate, and she currently runs her own real estate company. And her father, Alan Rothstein, Erica is extremely close with him. She calls him uncle. He was the chairman, might still be the chairman of Wynn Haven Real Estate. And yeah, like I said, this is what she wrote about him on Instagram in 2017. This post reads, "There's something powerful about God's strategic planning when it comes to the people that he has surrounded you. How blessed am I to have individuals like you, Uncle Alan, in my life that are filled with spirit, constantly seeing life in bloom. I have watched you face adversity and triumph, and in doing so, pass a gift of courage and a message of understanding to those around you that if you live boldly and fearlessly, the impossible is possible. I love you." Okay. She loves her Uncle Alan. Now, I bring this up because I'm just asserting that it is very plausible that these were the people who introduced Erica to the world of real estate. I will also add here that I haven't gone down the Rothstein rabbit hole, but I do know that Rothsteins in New York, if they are at all related to Alan, to the Rothstein that was involved with fixing the White Sox game.
If,
Right.
if. Like we've jumped from one if to the next if to the next if, and we're just going to create the narrative that it is. Not an if, but it's going to turn into an is.
Absolutely.
That's a Rothschild. That's a Rothschild family member. His mother was a Rothschild. Again, I don't know if that is true, but it's...
I don't know if it's true. Another if. Rothstein to the Rothschild. There we go.
Sure would be interesting to find that out.
Oh, God.
Very clearly want to say, I'm not asserting that these two did anything wrong, Alan or Nicole. I'm just trying to put the pieces together to establish how Erica, who was herself at this time trying to be booked onto reality TV shows for fashion or really anything, the American Race, dating, whatever she could, I'm wondering how she pivoted so seamlessly into the genre of real estate. How was she able to climb the ranks so speedily, so high? And by the way, we should read her real estate bio because it really is something to read Erica's real estate bio so you understand she was a power player, okay? It reads, and I'm sorry, it's a little bit small for me. Erica Franzfey is a multi-dimensional entrepreneur. She keeps writing that, and I don't really know what that means. Like, is she in 2D? Is she in 4D? Is this like a Tesseract again?
It means she's actually doing real estate in multiple dimensions. She's selling to the grave. She's selling to the reptiles. She's selling them to the insectoids. Like everybody. She's selling them to everybody. She's selling it to
big words.
Demons, angels. She sold a mansion to God one time. I mean, it's multi-dimensional.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Erica Franzfey is a multi-dimensional entrepreneur with a bold and steadfast faith that has sustained sustainability, her borderless heart.
Oh my God.
She has lived all over the world, from Los Angeles to China, working in the entertainment industry as an agency represented model, actress, and casting director. She does it all. Several years ago, after her heart was captured by the contagious inspiration of America's most transnational city, she bought a one-way ticket to New York City and made it home. Erica is known throughout her community and deep network base as an influential and positive voice. Her experience working on the developer side of the New York City real estate industry is a tremendous asset to her role as an agent. With a work ethic that is unmatched and a zealous disposition to make a difference, her main focus is the fiduciary relationship. I'm sorry, excuse me? Is she in finance now? With her clients? Is she managing their money? I don't know. While placing their real estate needs as her top priority. Who are these clients? Her focus, she says, is fiduciary. It's interesting. We go on. Erica is also the founder and CEO of Everyday Heroes Like You, a 501c3 charitable organization that assists other nonprofits globally. The organization celebrates their 12th year and their long-standing partnership with the United States Marine Corps by expanding into China and Costa Rica. while continuing their community outreach programs in the United States and Constanta, Romania. Erica's perseverant spirit has been the driving force behind her eclectic background, from being a former NCAA women's basketball athlete to Miss Arizona USA 2012. She knows what it takes to set a goal and fearlessly pursue it. Erica graduated magna cum laude. We have not been able to confirm that. That seems to be made up, but so is the rest of this bio appear to be made up. So we'll just keep going with a double major in political science and international relations. That also appears to be made up because international relations was not offered at that year. From Arizona State University, and is currently pursuing a Juris Master degree at Liberty University. It's a lot. It's a mouthful.
By the way, I did a
I
little bit
just
of
would
research
like
on
to
that
know
degree.
What I'd like to know more than anything is
And as it turns out, it wasn't offered as a together degree. It was something to do with international and something else being on there. But Erica Kirk apparently doesn't put the second part. I forgot exactly what it was. I'll have to dig it back up. But I know that they had the international for the degree by itself that they offered at that point in time. And I believe that's the one she got. So I don't know. It's kind of silly. It's a silly argument, but it's just one of those things where I know Candace didn't do her deep research on.
Yeah. Hey, Jen, if you will, if you can find any of Candace's old professional biographies, I would love to read those. If you can find any of those, let me know.
what
That
any
sounds
of
like
it
a good time.
means. And maybe I'm thinking out loud here, but how exactly do impoverished girls from Eastern Europe, young impoverished girls from Eastern Europe, afford apartments in one of the most expensive cities in the world?
Those are paid for by the modeling agency. That's how that works.
No, they're
Like,
just slaves, apparently.
You're going to come here. We're going to give you this amount of money to model. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but also, by the way, we're going to cover your lodging. Like, that's how that works. Oh.
It's unbelievable. It's like she doesn't understand how these modeling agencies work. They come, you volunteer for them, kind of like the military. You get sucked into them with a contract and all, and then maybe you get some money whenever you leave them. That's how she's making them look. I wonder if these modeling agencies would like to have a little conversation with Candace, a little lawsuit for slander.
Yeah, they ration your food. All right, you're going to get half a grape at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. You're welcome.
How are they making money as young models from Eastern Europe? Why is Erica the point person on that? Allegedly, but the people that dealt with her directly say so. I'd like to hear Erica's feedback on that.
What
was she doing? Who are these clients, these real estate clients that she's helping with their finances? Also, as an aside, why am I unable to confirm Erica's New York real estate license? I am indeed able to find a relic of it on a third-party site, but I'm not able to independently verify it on New York State's Division of Licenses website now. The New York State, as from what I'm seeing at first glance, is supposed to hold this information for at least 6 years, but I can't find a shred of proof regarding which real estate deals Erica completed. Right, so maybe you guys can help because we're coming up to the 6-year deadline. That should be October of this year. Here is her real estate license, the relic of it that I found. License number 104-013-22765.
More doxing.
Okay, it was issued to Erica. They are active for 2 years, so we can discern that it was issued on October 24th of 2018, and it was valid at least until 2020. Anything, real estate people in New York, let me know what you can find if you can confirm Erica's real estate license and what she sold. Because that bio sounds legit.
I'm sorry. You're making millions and millions of dollars. And it's like, instead of hiring a private investigator or somebody that can do this competently, that knows how to do this, she's like, hey, anybody out there that's a fruitcake that you just got no time in your hands, but I want to kind of pull you into my stalking escapade against Erica Kirk, find this for me and send it to me, and I'll give you live. I'll start a Give Send Go account for you and make you $150,000.
Yeah, it's It's just unbelievable. I mean, she could probably go down and verify this, but at the end of the day, she probably just didn't renew her license, and they're not going to hold on to it after that. I mean, she's kind of busy with other stuff, if I had to guess. And is there even any proof that she even sold anything at all? Candace
don't
is
think
kind of
so.
just flying off the seat of her pants there.
It's if upon if upon if upon if. It's speculation upon speculation upon speculation upon speculation. That's what it is.
Is managing some serious clients there, helping to manage their money. Okay. In real estate deals. I'm very interested in that. Now, if you see something, if you know something, maybe you were featured in one of these dimensions with Erica. You went 2D, 4D. I'm in 3D, but maybe you went.
Yeah, how dumb. Someone said I'm a multidimensional, person, or what'd she say? Multidimensional, regardless.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's like you're just saying that you do a lot of things in different areas of life. I mean, we know what like sit here and just make such a big deal about this. It's just theater at best.
Yeah. Candace hates big words.
Entrepreneur. That's what it was.
Somewhere else and you saw her, please, we'd like to hear from you. More tips at CandaceOwens.com.
All right. We're going to take a little break and go through some super chats here. Dr. Altoid says, whenever I see someone losing their shit about Erica's Air Force appointment, I reply with Rubio, Kirk 2028. They don't seem to like it for some reason.
Yeah.
I like it. How are our eyes so far apart? It's a great question. It's just like every other agency, as well as sport team cheerleaders. They have 2 to 3 girls per apartment. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's typical.
I only watch Candy on Gary's show. Can't stand her. Well, thank you, Cindy. We appreciate that. People believe in Candace are mentally deficient. I agree with that. And it's sad to think that there are grown adults in Candace's audience who can't see how Candace fills the gaps with her imaginary stories. It really is. And then they want to act like she's giving you evidence, facts. This is called puffing. I used to be a broker. You want people to be confident when they use you as an agent. Would you trust someone with a bio that states, I don't know, WTF, what I'm doing? Yeah, like everybody has their bio. It's like you're going to exaggerate what you do well. And I'm not saying lie, but you're going to highlight the things that you think are good attributes of yourself. And you're going to kind of, keep a lower profile of the things that you're weak at. I mean, that's what a bio is. Let's be real.
Absolutely.
Who has it worse, Bill Clinton or George Farmer? I think Bill Clinton doesn't even live in the same house probably with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Poor George.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure she lets George have her fun. Bill almost pushed Hillary out in front of that car. Did you see that today?
I did see that.
It was
and then
amazing.
I saw like 50 AI videos of it. Different variations.
So funny.
They were even funnier. We might have to pull some of those up to break up, give a little levity in the middle of this insanity.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't buying and selling real estate involve a lot of money? So Erica would be handling transactions involving money. Yeah. It is definitely.
Well, one would think.
Fiduciary.
I mean, realistically, she's probably just putting together a little plan when people first buy that property. Hey, this is probably the full payment plan you're going to do, and probably advising them. It's so common.
It is a fiduciary transaction. There's no doubt about it. So,
without a doubt,
it's not a word that I would have thrown in there. But the problem here is the real issue that Candace has with this is she probably doesn't even know what it means.
Absolutely.
Like I said, this is very obviously something Erica should answer for. You want to be the queen bee. You want to be a public figure. You want people floating your name as for president of the United States. Well, let's get to a little bit of background. Who are you? What were you doing? And the answer should be very clear and very concise because I struggle. Got to be honest. I struggle to believe that Erica was in fact, while in New York, doing real estate deals with fiduciary responsibilities while helping Turning Point USA, filming a reality TV show, also in school full time to get her Juris Master's, followed by her law degree at Liberty, while also studying the mandatory 77 hours to achieve her real estate license, while also running an international charity in partnership with the U.S. Marines.
Let me interpret that for you. Candace is saying there's no way that I could do that. I would never work that hard. So there's no way that Erica could actually do all those things simultaneously. That's what she means.
Exactly. I mean, 77 hours, that's 2 weeks. 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Less than that, actually. But yeah.
And I'm sure she even had to do that, or you could even break it up into several weeks. I don't know how long she was taking to do that. She could have broke that up over 6 months for all I know. Tony Morrow 8033, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Thank you guys. I'm just sick of listening to her neck throw up. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I'm with you, buddy.
In all fairness, her streams are a little less than an hour. 77 hours, 77 episodes.
Yeah,
that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of creative writing. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Halfway around the world and in China, while also running a faith-based clothing company, plus, giving advice to Turning Point, doing all of that at the same time. That's a struggle for me. I can't get there.
I don't doubt it.
I don't think she was doing that because I keep not.
Her struggling to comprehend anything is not a surprise to me. It's probably the most truthful thing that she has ever said.
Agreed.
Being born yesterday. So hard not being born yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if we're asking questions, how is it that Erica is always so tied to Eastern Europe? Why is she just kind of floating around? Just this girl from Ohio. How does she get linked to Romania and the United States Marines? And today, I should be clear, she presents it as though she was just sending gifts. That's kind of the new thing. Oh, I was just, helping to send Christmas gifts to kids in need in an orphanage. That was it. Organizing gifts being sent, which of course, again, the common sense, that would not require the support of the United States Marines. You can do that right now today, team. Phone up someone in Romania and ask them for an address and you can send gifts, right? It's expensive to ship. You could probably ground ship that. Her involvement was much more. How do I know? Well, because before the scandal broke and accusations of child trafficking onto the military base, Erica used to claim that she was a bit more involved, a lot more involved. I'll let you take a look.
Let me tell you something. You are not going to, you'd have to present me a lot of evidence to convince me that there was child trafficking on a U.S. military base. You have control points all over the place. There's no way that would be happening under somebody's nose. You would have to go through a lot of work to conceal that and to make that happen. I'm not saying it's impossible. It may have even happened, but that would take a lot of damn work. And the fact that she's just throwing that accusation out there without a single shred of evidence, I've never seen anything like that. I'm going to look that up here in just a minute and see if there's any indication that we've ever seen, if there's ever an investigation or anything else into child trafficking on a military base. Maybe there was. I've just never seen it.
Absolutely. And the amount of people that are in and out of there.
During her
it's impossible.
Yeah.
Audition tape.
Very unlikely. We'll say that. Not impossible, but very unlikely.
For the American race with her ex-boyfriend. Here's what she says about Romanian Angels. Take a listen.
We just have a borderless heart to help people and to give back. And, I have been to Romania and teamed up with the Marine Corps to open up and sustain an orphanage with 75 beautiful children. And that's called Romanian Angels through my nonprofit, Everyday Heroes Like You.
She opened up in partnership with the Marines. She opened up and she sustained an orphanage. So I would like to know more about that. I do. I now need to know more about that. I do think that the TikTokers were not so crazy, instantly going down that rabbit hole and asking for more information. And I feel even more compelled to get information about that because according to one of the former children, now an adult, the former child, now an adult, who was adopted out of Antonio's placement center, that is notably a corrupt orphanage. Okay. This is, and she's referring to Antonio's placement center. just to make it clear for you guys, Everyday Heroes is her 501c3, and then they do various projects. This was called the Romanian Angels Project, and they did this. The Romanian Angels, so to speak, were living at Antonio's Placement Center in Constanta, Romania, where our base was. And I'm going to read you this email from someone who was placed from the Antonio Placement Center. It reads, Dear Candace, I am writing to share personal historical context regarding the Antonio Placement Center in Constanta, Romania, which may be relevant to your reporting on Erica Kirk and the Romanian Angels Project. While independent fact checkers...
I just want to point out, how come all these other tips, we don't actually see emails?
I was just thinking that.
Like, why does this one get it? But even if we had an anonymous tip, of which we have a plethora of from Candace Owens, why don't we see the email with all the other information blacked out? We don't even get that. So I think most of these tips are utter nonsense. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong that Candace Owens is completely manufacturing tips. I need you to prove me wrong.
Have found no evidence linking Ms. Kirk's work to illicit activities. I believe the history of the Antonio Placement Center warrants further investigation. I was personally placed in this center under dubious circumstances involving misdiagnosis and institutional pressure before being adopted internationally. This center in particular, are notorious for corruption and illicit activities such as trafficking children, which is why I was shocked that out of all of the placement centers in Romania, this was a center that she chose to partner with. It is noteworthy that Ms. Kirk's promotional materials from approximately 2012 to 2014 specifically referenced the Antonio Placement Center as a partner for her international efforts. This intersection is significant because the institution has been part of a broader system criticized for lack of transparency and the documented practice of placing children in care based on catastrophic language rather than medical or social necessity. In my own case, I was labeled with severe impairments that were not supported by my developmental records. Given how much history there is about Romanian institutional practices, adoption controversies, and the experience of people who grew up in these centers, it seems important to look beyond the social media claims and consider the history and operations of Antonio Placement Center itself. Best regards, Larissa. Well, I hear that call, and I would like to hear from some more people who were adopted from the Antonio Placement Center in Constanta.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, she was sending these kids toys, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we got.
Right.
They're sending these kids toys. What's going on behind the scenes? Somebody sending you toys isn't going to know if there is some sort of nefarious. And again, the only evidence we have is this one letter from somebody.
Also, if you live in Romania, you have access to documents. I would like to know, I would like to separate fact from fiction, or Erica from Erica.
That's a new one. You like to separate fact from fiction? You never really seem to care about that any other time.
Exactly. She got somebody mad. She didn't get the right toy. That's what happened there.
Open the Antonio Placement Center? Does that mean they took over the Antonio Placement Center? Was the U.S. Marines operating it, or were they just pretending to give gifts? I want to know as much as there is to know, because I have the ick. And speaking of the ick, we should talk about Tyler Boyer, Erica's friend, her dear friend, who introduced her to her husband, but for the life of her, she cannot remember how they met. It's a difficult one, tricky one.
What are you talking about? Why does she keep bringing up this trope that they can't remember how they met? When they've said it on multiple different podcasts and interviews, how they met. It was at a job interview, you know. I mean, I don't know why she keeps saying that. And then she brought up some scenario where they allegedly met at an airport in Israel, I think is what she was saying. And that her mom pushed her into going to say hi to Charlie or something like that. Because, you know, Lori's a pusher, sustainability, sustain, like just.
Yeah, she makes it difficult.
I had a person sent me a recent conversation that they had on social media with Tyler, because he gets a little snippy on social media, gaslights people, pretends he's a good guy. And this is his excuse for why he was in Romania in 2010. It's good to see it. Tyler says that this person was his business partner. I'm skipping to the bottom here. I studied Romanian in college to complement my Russian studies and did a few weeks studying abroad in school. Not everything is a conspiracy. I feel it is a conspiracy. I don't think it is just ironic that you happened to go right when the military base got set up and when Dennis Franzfey was there. I don't buy that. And I got interested because I said a Romanian
I got a question about
program.
that.
That sounds
go ahead.
neat.
I'm going to sound a little ignorant here. How did she scroll and change the color of those word bubbles? How did she get a hold of that text like that? That was a little weird, wasn't it? I'm an Android user, so maybe Apple has something.
Let's see what's going on here.
Dennis Franzfey was there. I don't buy that.
There we go.
Cool. Not everything is.
Like right at the very beginning, she kind of scrolled up a little, and you could see the also what you were doing in Romania kind of fade a little.
So that looks well. That's a response. That's a reply to. That looks like it might be a Signal or WhatsApp chat.
But it looked like she was in it. I think maybe it just caught my eye wrong. It was at the very beginning. You'll see she scrolls through it and it kind of changes like she's actively in her phone looking at this. It's not a screenshot. At least I could be wrong. Maybe I missaw this. I don't know if would you be able to back up to like right at the very beginning of the message? It was just a little weird thing that caught my eye.
I think that's a WhatsApp. Yeah.
Okay.
It says it's summarized with meta AI. Well, you know what? That's another weird thing too.
Yeah.
Summarized with meta. Well, it didn't say.
I saw that because
an option.
It didn't look like this was a
Probably
screenshot.
a WhatsApp chat.
Yeah. But isn't that Tyler? Is she talking to Tyler Boyer?
A person.
I don't know.
Okay.
We don't
see it.
See enough of that information.
Tyler says.
Huh.
Yeah, this looks like better question is why haven't you lost your mind about the situation? Also, what were you doing in Romania? I think this is from her. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense then. Gotcha. Yeah. It is Candace. Okay. I thought she got a screenshot or something, and I saw her scroll up, and I was like, hold on a minute. How did you get those exact texts like that? Not in screenshot form. But anyway, I misunderstood.
No, it's a great question.
This
good eye.
Program, that sounds unique. Does Arizona State University have a Romanian program? And they do, and the history of it. I actually was shocked. Romanian programs are rare, and there's no major, but Arizona State University is actually the only university in America that you can even achieve a minor in Romanian studies. How random. And the history of how this program developed is pretty precise. In 2010, the very year that Tyler Boyer went over to Romania, Arizona State University became the site of an honorary consulate general of Romania in Arizona. Effectively, just to understand that, a Romanian embassy on ASU campus, an honorary Romanian embassy established in 2010. And then in 2011, the program inaugurated the first Romanian lectorate, the first in an American academic environment. And it was funded by a Romanian language institute. They also launched, ASU, the Central European Cultural Collaborative, which facilitates partnerships with Romanian universities. Now,
just so you guys know, just so the chat knows out there, there are Romanian missions, consulates in Chicago, Los Angeles, Miami, and New York, numerous honorary consulates across the U.S. So obviously the embassy itself is going to be in D.C. We have a consulate general in Chicago, Los Angeles, New York. Honorary consulates include Atlanta, Georgia, Boston, Massachusetts, Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, Las Vegas, Nevada, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Phoenix, Arizona, Philadelphia, Sacramento, San Francisco, Hartford, Connecticut, Florence, Kentucky, Portland, Oregon, Norman, Oklahoma. It's very normal of any foreign affairs of countries that we have with good relationships. So diplomatic relationships. So that's where we're at with that.
Absolutely. It's right here in my own backyard too. OU.
Well, there you go.
So
there's a bit of a
yeah.
revolving door. 2010 was one hell of a year for Romania and Arizona. That's what I would definitely say. But this relationship has continued, you guys. You're not going to believe this, but big news. Beginning in July of last year, a few months before Charlie was assassinated, now Arizona is becoming further embedded with Romania. They are the first and the only state to open a trade office in Romania. This was announced. Let's check out this headline. I promise you, Arizona to be the first U.S. state to open a trade office in Romania. That sure is something. The Romania to Arizona pipeline sure feels like something. So I would like to say, in closing, that we should pay attention to this. We're starting to see how this world works, and this is weird. This is weird. Do not let Tyler gaslight you in conversations. It's odd. This should be screaming at you as it is screaming at me that something's not right. Turning Point headquarters, a location picked by Tyler Boyer. Charlie Kirk didn't even open the organization. So it started in Chicago. He says, oh, this is going to be great. They choose a spot for their campus that is a trafficking hotbed, factually. Erica's strange attachment to Tyler Boyer, but lack of a memory regarding Tyler Boyer.
I'm going to double check that. I want to make sure I heard what you said.
And the only state to open a trade office in Romania. This was announced. Let's check out this headline. I promise you, Arizona to be the first U.S. state to open a trade office in Romania. That sure is something. The Romania to Arizona pipeline sure feels like something.
Feels like
I would like to say, in closing, that we should pay attention to this. We're starting to see how this world works, and this is weird. This is weird. Do not let Tyler gaslight you in conversations. It's odd. This should be screaming at you as it is screaming at me that something's not right. Turning Point headquarters, a location picked by Tyler Boyer. Charlie Kirk didn't even open the organization. So it started in Chicago. He says, oh, this is going to be great. They choose a spot for their campus that is a trafficking hotbed, factually. Erica's strange attachment to Tyler Boyer, but lack of a memory regarding Tyler Boyer. Superfeed Incorporated, where Erica's mother is serving as a board member with Tyler Boyer. And Superfeed, by the way, read the fine print on Turning Point USA's app. Superfeed owns the copyright, which means that's where your data is going. Just pretty interesting there. Turning Point allegedly getting into real estate.
All right, she said
normal to me.
This was so weird. This is so strange. All right. States with significant and have trade offices in other countries. Missouri operates 14 foreign offices located in countries including Australia, Brazil, Canada, France, Germany, India, Israel, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Mexico, and the United Kingdom, the United Emirates. Maryland has trade offices in Africa, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Chile, China, Colombia, India, Israel, Japan, Mexico, Peru, Singapore, Taiwan, and the United Arab Emirates. Florida has trade offices in 13 other countries. Pennsylvania has trade offices in 17 other countries. Minnesota has offices in Canada, Japan, European Union, and the United Kingdom, and China. So, not that weird, folks. Not that weird.
I was looking up.
So strange.
Exactly. I was looking up the reason why Arizona claimed to have opened up a trade office in Romania, and it says Arizona companies especially in partnered up with them for semiconductors, aerospace, and technology, already have significant foreign direct investment and exports to Romania, including firms like Microchips, Semiconductors, Avnet, Benchmark Electronics that leverage Romania's huge STEM talent that they've been essentially fostering.
Yeah.
So, and there's quite a few different people that I've talked to from Romania. There's a specific YouTuber as well. I don't really talk to him, but he's a doctor from Romania, and their STEM is just.
Are you here on this live stream admitting that you have ties with Romania?
Uh-oh. Well, shoot.
I guess
Candace now has
long hair. Coincidence? I think not.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, they have a huge STEM field. It just makes sense. But
Right.
I guess don't look into it any deeper than surface level.
No, if you look into it any deeper than surface level, then it's not weird. It's not strange. There's plausible and perfectly good explanations for all the above. But what we got to do is we got to create this conspiracy where I guess Romania, TPUSA, Tyler Boyer, Erica Kirk are somehow involved with child and human trafficking out of Romania, which there's none of that. This is a bunch of crap being thrown at the wall and seeing which out of the millions of morons with sticky brains that crap being thrown at the wall will actually stick to their silly little brains, and they'll run with it, and they will.
Oh yeah,
they lap it up like a freaking dog lapping up a dropped snow cone on a hot day.
Tyler
ridiculous.
Exactly.
Boyer being at the forefront of that, according to the tips that we've received, that a little bit of ick, right? Charlie establishing a doge 7 days before he died. BB's phone call in the Hamptons, Donald Trump, pageantry world, the Epstein files. What Epstein files? Are we still talking about the Epstein files? Trump trying to make fetch happen with Erica Kirk. Photos. Oh, we're supposed to just view her as some sort of a...
All right, I just want to throw this up there because I like her work a lot. It gets pretty it gets pretty abrasive sometimes, Yasmin. But Yasmin Adrian Animations. She is on X. I know she's probably on YouTube as well. Welcome to the chat, Yasmin. You do some pretty crazy work. I appreciate it. And you guys go check her out as well.
Heck yeah.
Leader, as if she was promised it for some reason, like she was guaranteed the keys to Charlie's empire. Why? All of this stinks to high heaven. You know it. I know it. Any rational people in the world know it. And we're not going to let up. We'll be back after a break. All right, you guys, Nimi Skincare is the...
All right, while we're, let me just double check to see if I've missed any. Yep, we got a few super chats out here. All right. And honestly, better question. If Candace was so gifted, how did she accumulate the $150,000 in student debt? She could have had scholarships. Yeah, she's so gifted. She's gifted, all right. Like, here's a helmet. Be careful, gifted. Quit licking the windows, gifted. Thanks, Anna. Jedi 417. How is Erica qualified to do X, Y, and Z? Well, maybe she's just better than you, Candace. Yeah. How did she accomplish all this stuff? Maybe she just works a lot harder than you do, Candace. Let me take a look at, we did have, here we go. So this is Candace's resume. Early career. Let me see. Yeah, I was looking to see if we could find one of her bios that she wrote. That's what I was looking for, Jen. I'd like to compare it. I'd like to see the flowery language she used to describe herself. That's what I was kind of looking for. But this is really good, too. Just get an idea of what she has done and how all of this has just ended in failure. Degree 180, CEO, founded 2015. Pretty sure that went bankrupt. Technology startup attempt, social autopsy, 2017. That ended in disaster. Political nonprofit movement, Blexit Foundation, co-founder. That ended up millions of dollars in debt and had to be bailed out by TPUSA. That's probably what she was fired over, to be honest with you. Among many others. Consumer product promotion launch, Freedom Phone, 2021, make marketing alternative, media brand, independent platform, independent freaking fiction. That's what she does right now. Yeah, I was going to say, Jen, if you can find, if there's any of her own self-written little autobiographies that she would use for a professional, like a CV or something like that. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I just want to compare.
Forgot her bombing Parlor to the ground.
Oh yeah. That's not not on her resume. Candace was in love with Charlie Kirk, and she wanted to ride him all the way to the White House. Erica ruined it. She hated them both ever since. Case closed. I agree. CJ Corinthy in the house, supporting the channel like he always does. Gifted 5 Paramount Tactical memberships. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate you. GS70 Stealth. The gap between Candace's eyes, LOL, is way too far apart. What the heck is it's got split in her face? Look, she's an herbivore. All right, she's clearly a grazer. She's got to watch out for the predators out there. Oh, I did want to break this up just a little bit because this is pretty funny, and there's a bunch of these out here. I'm going to share this tab instead, but here we go. This is from today. Hillary was caught out and about. There's a bunch more of these that get even more wild. Oh, I'm not showing you guys anything.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Hold on. It was supposed to be. I hit all the right buttons, people. Hold on. Let me see what we got. Pause that. Let me go here, and I don't know why this is not sharing. All right. Boom. All right. So here was Hillary out and about today with Bill Clinton. And there's a bunch more of these. I'm going to throw some other ones up there here in just a few minutes, too.
That's just amazing.
It is amazing. Let me see. We're going to remove that. And we're going to stop sharing that. All right. I'm going to go here and back to Candace. I know you guys can't wait.
You know, Jake Hoffman is a dear, the second best time. Now, some of us were actually grieving Charlie Kirk.
Mhm.
Turning Point USA, on the other hand, was
The right way.
grieving differently, just differently. Turns out there was no pathway in which these goblins were not trying to strike gold off of his name, including, ladies and gentlemen, in case you missed it,
Candace
that's
Owens herself.
the MV. Man,
You talk about projection right now. Where's that mirror? Just like Lisa knows,
Yeah.
said we need a mirror right now, making money off of his corpse. That's what you have done. And you've destroyed his legacy, or attempted to, as well as trying to destroy his wife, of all things.
and I had quite a chuckle about this. Either
Oh,
like,
she
what else
does.
could we, the DMV?
All she's done is chuckle. Like, you go to back to the very beginning of all this. She started every single episode of like, guess what, guys? Guess what we found today? We found more evidence of his death and who did it, and French Foreign Legion, and the bees, and the Mormons, and Israel. Like, every day.
Hey, let's make some money.
Yeah,
So apparently what happened was back in January, Arizona Senator named Jake Hoffman. Now, I should let you know, Jake Hoffman is a dear friend of Tyler Boyer, a partner of Tyler Boyer. He formerly used to work at Turning Point USA. They make money together. I knew Jake Hoffman. Okay. This ain't some senator. I didn't know Charlie, but I was impacted. And no, okay. He's embedded with Turning Point USA. And Jake Hoffman, back on January 28th, introduced a bill for a state license plate to honor Charlie Kirk. Guys, it's all about honoring him. Legacy. Now, the proposed specialty plate, which was going to be referred to as a Charlie Kirk Memorial Plate, was essentially going to feature a photo of Charlie and the Turning Point USA logo in front of an American flag background. A little shameless promotion. And below the license plate, as you just saw,
shameless promotion.
the words were going to read for Charlie, because it was definitely for Charlie. Okay. I'm sure somewhere there's an interview where they're going to explain to us, like, oh, I had a conversation with him, and Charlie said, wouldn't it be so great if my face was on a plate? I'm sure, right? The ghost of Charlie, always when nobody's there, says exactly what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I'm
Anyway,
sure
so this goes
Arizona was
through,
just proud.
and the Senate passed.
Exactly.
That's just wild to me. Yeah, we can't honor him at all. He's only got like presidential honors, essentially,
Yeah.
He got awarded the Medal of Freedom. I mean, I'm sure the state of Arizona would be incredibly proud to have him like plastered everywhere. I mean, it's as close as getting on a dollar bill, essentially.
Yeah. I think haven't they already commissioned, or actually there is already a statue of Charlie Kirk in Arizona? I think there is. I'll look that up.
They passed the bill 16-2. And then the House of Reps also voted in favor of the bill 31-23. And now, in case you're thinking, maybe that's sweet, maybe this really was for Charlie, you should think again. You should remember that we're speaking about Turning Point USA. There's got to be money somewhere, right? There's got to be ka-ching, ka-ching somewhere. So how it actually would have worked is that you would have paid a $25 fee for that specialty plate, $17 of which would have been an annual donation deposited into a conservative grassroots network special plate fund, according to the legislation.
And Charlie would have loved that. Would have loved that.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that we can win elections and we can get things done in this country and preserve our republic, because that's what he was doing.
That is exactly right.
And while the recipient of the Grassroots Network Special Plate Fund was not explicitly stated as being Turning Point USA in the bill, it did note that the director of the fund would allocate the revenue annually to a nonprofit organization founded in 2012 that focuses on restoring traditional values and maintaining a grassroots activist network on high school and college campuses in Arizona and assisting college students with voter registration.
I mean, let's be real. What she's doing here is she's talking trash to Charlie's life work. That's what he did. He raised money constantly. Everything was money-based, whether you liked it or not. That's how you get things done in this country. If you want to win elections, you need money to be able to fund your organization that gets out the vote, that goes out there and reaches people, that has, these college campus events that cost a lot of money. And all the other events that they do, whether it's AmFest, whatever it is. I mean, these things take money. They have hundreds of chapters across colleges across the United States. All of that takes money.
Exactly.
And she's acting like this is some sort of crazy illegal thing that's happening. That's what Charlie did, and that's what she's disparaging right now.
Absolutely. And she's also acting like none of this is public. Like we don't know where the fees are going.
Yeah. Like she uncovered something crazy. Like, shut up. You're
exactly.
Shut up, Blue's Clues.
Yeah, I miss it.
They just no shame. There's no shame. It's amazing. It's amazing to think through the new CEO really being up there like, these YouTubers are making thousands of dollars investigating who killed my husband. Thousands of dollars they are making. Look at them. I can't believe it. Shit.
Actually, what she said was you were making hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode. That's the quote. And it's odd that you don't quote that, because that's what she actually said. And you're making millions of dollars off of this farce that you want to call an investigation, while you're discrediting Charlie, while you're destroying his legacy, while you're destroying TPUSA, destroying his wife. You're lying to everybody. You're trying to get MAGA to completely implode. You want Democrats to win the midterms. You don't want conservatives to win the midterms and the 2028 election. You are contributing to the destruction of this country. That's what you're doing. That's the opposite of what Charlie did. Whew, Lord help me. Help me.
That is absolutely correct, though.
It's crazy.
Well, what happens thereafter is Katie Hobbs, who is the governor, vetoed the bill quite rationally, I might add. She wrote a very nice letter. And basically her reasoning, her letter, I'll read it here. She said, today I vetoed SB 1439. Charlie Kirk's assassination is tragic and a horrifying act of violence. In America, we resolve our political differences at the ballot box. No matter who it targets, political violence puts us all in harm's way and damages our sacred democratic institutions. I will continue working toward solutions and bringing people together, but this bill falls short of that standard by inserting politics into a function of government that should remain nonpartisan. Sincerely, Kate Hobbs. Yeah. Maybe if I was governor, I would add a couple lines about y'all are shameless, you're crazy, your mama should be ashamed of you, but
this should be career suicide for Candace right here.
For being fair.
Hold on. So she's now just completely in alignment with Katie Hobbs, probably one of the most famous governor elections in the United States history, modern history, of her rigging the election. Oh, I think you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I was muted again.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, almost assuredly it will be proven that she stole the election, or the election was stolen for her.
Exactly. I saw Candace sliding Carrie Lake a couple of times in some episodes, but I was like, surely not, right? Now I see her in alignment with an actual like Democrat that cheated an election in Maricopa County. This is going to be bad for Candace if she doesn't play this one right. Hopefully her fans aren't falling for this crap.
Oh, they will. They'll love it. They'll love it.
That is
Carrie
scary.
Lake should have been the governor of Arizona. We all know it.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. So let's play this. Jen did find Candy's speaker bio. We'll take a look at that in just a moment.
Now, of course, Turning Point USA is in for the spin. They're outraged. Jake Hoffman is outraged. Were there going to be kickbacks? Who knows? There's a lot. There's a relationship there. The Farnsworths, Jake Hoffman, Tyler, thick as thieves. Here's what Jake Hoffman said on Fox News regarding her decision.
What's your response to the governor when she says,
Gary, there was trafficking problem connected to the mall on the other side of 5-lane highway? Yes, there was. There was a trafficking problem. It's cartel trafficking. It has nothing to do with TPUSA or anything linked to TPUSA. The other thing that I have a real problem with is that she said that that TPUSA was across the street. It's over a mile away from the mall, just so we're clear. I mean, that is a big difference. Or at least a mile away from there. The trafficking that's happening in Arizona is 100% related to cartels. And that's what's going on with the trafficking. And just about any other big location that you're going to find in Arizona, whether they be hotels, whether they be malls, whatever it is, you're going to be able to link trafficking to it because it is so pervasive in Arizona with the cartels.
And there's also a tactic to this mall here. She's never once mentioned it was a mall. She calls it Arizona Mills.
Yep,
and she's
Arizona
never
Mills.
shown pictures.
Yes, 100%. Great point.
that honoring Charlie Kirk, quote, falls short of that standard of bringing people together?
Well, listen, the only thing that falls short, unfortunately, is Katie Hobbs's track record actually trying to unite the people of Arizona. Look, Charlie Kirk was an incredible man. He was a friend of mine for 11 years. And when he passed, the memorial we held, it's the only time in Arizona history that we filled 2 professional sports stadiums to honor and run tribute to the life of an Arizona citizen. He built a national organization with a global impact, reaching all the way from South Korea to London when he passed away. There's no doubt that he was a uniter. He was someone who championed free speech, and he was a civil rights leader of our time.
Jake, here's what I don't get. There are other license plates, including some that are tied to conservative causes, that have been approved. We have Choose Life. That's from the Arizona Life Coalition and its mission to promote anti-abortion advocacy. We have one from Alliance Defending Freedom, talking about conservative Christian legal advocacy, yet the precedent that she says isn't there. Is there anything different in these Charlie plates versus what you're seeing on your screen?
No, the reality is that Katie Hobbs has repeatedly been petty and partisan in everything that she's done, whether it be her nominees that she appoints to run the state agencies, or whether it be her veto track record. In fact, just last year, she vetoed about 9 of my bills. And I chaired the nominations committee, and she used the acronym of the committee as her reason for the veto. She's legally required to give us a reason, and she used the acronym of the committee to do it. She is nakedly partisan, and this is why we have to make sure that there is a new governor elected come this November.
No, I don't care if Katie Hobbs wins the gubernatorial race. I don't care if a Republican wins. I am just so disgusted with politics in general that we're even pretending this is a left or right issue. Just say we want money. Just say we want to grift off of Charlie's death every which way and manner that we can. Just say we want the $17 out of the $25. Let's stop pretending it's about politics. Let's stop pretending it's about Democrat versus Republican. Let's just acknowledge that on both sides, everybody's filth. Everybody is filth. And the people that they want to steal from are the people that come to the DMV who have souls and actually will look up and go, wow, I was really impacted by Charlie's assassination. And like, I would like to have that plate so that it can be in memory of him. And at the end of the day, who's that going to? Who's that money going to? It's going to his wife's organization now. And the messaging is apparently you can always honor Charlie with your hard-earned money. I want you guys to know that. This is the messaging coming out of Turning Point USA. You can always honor Charlie with your hard-earned money. You can't honor him by remembering the words that he said. You can't honor him. We got to take down all of his episodes. We have to make sure we hide interviews of things he said. We have to direct the ghost of Charlie. We have to pretend.
What were you saying, Arty?
Oh, I said, is that a quote?
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty on the nose.
It's so rich coming from her, the person that has grifted the most, the person that has built this industry off of grifting, off of Charlie Kirk's death. Her and all of her surrogates pushing the exact same talking points, pushing the exact same message, sharing, tweeting, the same things over and over again, pushing all the conspiracies, attacking anybody that can possibly push against any of this stuff. It's so rich. It's so hypocritical that it's hard to sit here and stomach this. And it's hard to see her say this with, well, I guess she's not saying it with a straight face. She's kind of laughing at her followers that believe this nonsense.
He's like, didn't have all that going on with the Zionists at the end. We got to welcome them into the fold as all of his enemies. Just give us money. We want your money. At all times of the day, we want your money. It is the only way that you can honor Charlie. Just absolutely disgusting. And I had to share that with you guys because I just thought to myself, there's just no end. And by the way, of course, Tyler Boyer jumped into the fold because that's his boy. And here's what he said on X. He wrote, every nonprofit in Arizona that has major roots has a license plate. Katie Hobbs vetoed this over politics after Charlie was brutally murdered. Disgusting. Yeah. I'm sure you just wanted that in memorial. I'm sure that was it because that's obviously who Tyler Boyer is. And these were Charlie's best friends in the world. That, my friend, is the problem. Anyway, we will be right back to answer some of your comments after a quick break. All right, you guys, if there is one thing that I have realized, it's that how you sleep really does shape how you feel the next day. And lately,
all right, we're going to break this up with a little bit of comedy here. And this is even funnier. We're going to share this tab instead. I'm going to double check to make sure that I'm actually sharing it because the system gets me sometime. All right, here's Hillary Clinton trying to cross the road. All right, that's not it, folks. That's not what really happened.
It's pretty good. I mean, just the original video too. It's so good. You almost saw that he wanted to.
I've seen like 5 more of these. Let me just go through and see if there's any. I love this. She does dress just like Kim Jong-un. There's no doubt about it. There's some other pretty funny ones that they went crazy. They went ham with the AI. Let me see if this is one of them. Anyways, pretty funny stuff. Let me go back to this. You can go to Cozy Earth and get it up to 20% off your order.
Just got to sell your soul.
This brings me to another thing that Little Mirage brought up. This is a great point. And we will go to this tab.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead. All right. So we're going to cover this in just a second, but here's the different plates you can currently get, themed plates that you can get in Arizona. So we can get, there's over 100, by the way, 109. You can get military veterans plates, great. First responder, emergency services plates, great. Education in schools, sports teams, health awareness, cancer causes, charity nonprofit support, Make-A-Wish Arizona, Girl Scouts, Rotary International. Alice Cooper's Solid Rock supports youth programs for his foundation. What a grifter Alice Cooper is. How dare he? In loving memory, Arizona Science Center, Arizona Highways, Keep Arizona Beautiful. Route 66. You can buy some of the tribal indigenous plates, other themed plates. What stood out to me was this one right here, Empower. Various empowerment and education themes. So I looked those up specifically. What is the Empower? What are the Empower plates? So let's see what those are. Supports Empower Coalition. Funds to go toward empowering charitable organizations that provide resources to veteran military families. Available for cars. Empower Arizona Education. Empower plates, veteran military focused. So you can get a bunch of these different ones that are for multitude of different charities. Why would they not allow TPUSA? It is a nonprofit, it's a charity. And, you know, like I don't know. I mean, there's an In God We Trust one. There is several other ones. So again, to be selective and just to be able to say, no, I'm vetoing this one for a Arizona hero like Charlie Kirk. You know, seems a little odd to me.
Absolutely. I'm jealous they have a metalhead on a license plate, though. I want that. Get Alice Cooper on my license plate? I don't get that.
Well, one day you might. One day you might be able to do that.
Uh-oh. Well, I did find a Masonic fraternity for Oklahoma.
Well, there you go.
So could get those on there.
Speaking of something very controversial, that would almost be good. Look, there's a lot of people say a lot of different things about Freemasons. I don't know. Like I've heard all the stuff, the good to the bad. I know people that have been Masons that explain to me that, look, you know, all that stuff is propaganda. They're not actually bad. They don't believe in witchcraft. I don't know what the answer is. I think the whole organization is strange, to say the least. And I've seen some very compelling evidence that we're definitely dipping our toes into the occult at a minimum. I would love to. We need to get somebody on to talk about that, and maybe even have a debate. One that supports Freemasonry and somebody that says, "Hey, it's satanic," which a lot of people do.
Well, there are two good things that somebody had pointed out to me. One of them wasn't pointed out to me. One of them I caught, but the other one was that Masonic Bible she got yesterday?
Yeah.
Does that look like it was in the back of a truck for however many years?
No,
That's
I saw
crazy.
that comment of yours. And you can buy that anywhere online. You can buy that anywhere online. It's like $20.
And then the pentagram in it, which was hand drawn in there. It wasn't a part of that Bible. When did that come in?
I didn't watch that particular episode, thankfully.
Oh, gotcha. Those were the only two pieces of evidence she had for that Masonic Bible. I mean, it was crazy. A hand-drawn pentagram that was in it, that was not printed. And it didn't even look like it was on a Bible page. It was just on like a Masonic page. It's with no words on it. So, I don't know.
Candy would only tell you the truth. She would never, I don't know.
Right. She should have beat the thing up. Make it more believable.
Is that what her story was? That she had, that it was allegedly like in the back of a truck for 25 years or something like that? I've heard.
Yeah, the guy that donated it to her, he was just like, yeah, it's been in the back of my truck for like years. Apparently, anyway, she never showed any proof that she talked to anybody whatsoever regarding this. It looked like it was shipped to her doorstep by Amazon.
It looked brand new.
That's what it looked like to me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Speculation, really, but it's just weird.
While we're at a pause, I'll hit a few more of these super chats. Hard to see straight when your eyes on the side of your head. She sees every angle. She reminds me of, what is he, a lemur or something off of Ice Age? That's who she reminds me.
Yeah, Sid.
So there you go.
The sloth.
There you go. The sloth. There are multiple
are
specialty plates in Arizona that do exactly the same. Exactly. We got a new member, Mockingbird Lane. Thank you for becoming a member, Mockingbird. We appreciate you. It's not uncommon for proceeds of nonprofit license plates to go to that charity. Exactly.
Yep.
Dinesh D'Souza did an interview with Dr. Bob Shillman, the longtime donor of TPUSA, who withdrew the $2 million donation. I saw parts of that. I've been meaning to watch it in its entirety. I haven't had a chance to do that. Dinesh actually DM'd me the other day. Nothing crazy. It was like something that he shared, but it was cool. I'm a big fan of Dinesh. Candace can't understand being charitable and state pride. No.
Right.
Gary caught black mold watching too much Candace. I do. I need to sue somebody and not have to pay my mortgage. Rage Bronson is a Freemason. He talks about it. Have him on.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Doesn't surprise me at all. I'm joking. I love old Bronson. In the next, I'm gonna try to do it this week. I was trying to do it Monday. It fell through, but I've made the steps required to actually have some French toast and peanut butter. All right, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We're gonna see what this is all about, or if it's just lunacy. She said she doused it in Holy Spirit water. I think Bronson said it's not even what Masons use, that type. Yeah, the Bible. I don't doubt it. I don't. All that stuff. Like, there's so much stuff like that that is just used to, they're just pandering to people. They'll create stuff just to feed into some of these conspiracies. That's why, like, I'm okay. Like, again, if Freemasonry is satanic, and some of the things that I've heard and seen in documentaries and books and articles, if that's true, get rid of it. If it's not, then, I'm willing to, I'm not going to become a Freemason or anything like that anytime soon. I don't see the point. But point is like, you don't know what's true. It's hard for us to really sort through all that stuff. All right. Back to Candy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
My mind. Top comments from last episode. Stephalor writes, let's all give a warm welcome to Erica Kirk, Blake, Andrew, Mikey, and everyone else at Turning Point USA who tunes in along with us every day to watch CO. I wish they'd just come on the show. I've made the offer. I mean it. I'm wanting to sit down with them. I particularly would love to have a public conversation with Erica Kirk, who has nothing to hide except a lot of stuff, apparently. Olivia Joy writes, one thing Candace has shown for sure is that everything eventually connects. I just think Romania.
No. Candace connect anything to anything. That's what she's proven.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to have any facts. You just pull out an anonymous source that says they connect. You don't show emails. You don't show any evidence. You don't show any receipts. You just talk until they connect. That's what she does.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's 6 degrees of separation. People have way less than that these days. You can connect anybody to anybody if they have an online account. I mean, it's not that difficult, to be honest.
Especially with famous people. Especially with famous people that meet a lot of people, that come in contact with a lot of people that,
New York real estate, the politics of it all, reality TV. There are some themes here that are hard to ignore, is what I would say. Easy Hammer writes, since for today's episode, I heard Erica's written words spoken out loud. It gives me the same level of cringe as watching her. Oh, hearing Erica's written words spoken out loud gives me the same level of cringe as watching her say them on TV. It's so many words to say nothing. That drives me insane. Just say less.
Speaking of that, that's a good segue into, let's add this to the stage here. Let me pull this off. Let's take a look at Candace's bio real quick. I don't even know if I can read this. Let's see what we got here. Candace Owens biography. Candace Owens is one of the most courageous and influential voices in modern American conservatism. She is best-selling author, political and cultural commentator, businesswoman, and the founder of and president of Blexit Foundation, a charitable organization dedicated to driving conservative principles into urban minority communities in the United States. Lisa, I think you're going to have to scroll down for me. I mean, Lisa. Jen, you're going to have to scroll down for me. Her New York Times bestselling book, Blackout, How Black Americans Can Make It its second escape from the Democrat plantation, released in 2020, achieved bestseller status within the first weeks and has gone to sell hundreds of thousands of copies across the world. She previously quit moving it, Jen. I can't read it like that. Squint my eyes as it is. She previously hosted. Let me see where I'm at. There we go. She launched the Blexit Foundation in 2018 with the aim of taking conservative American values into communities that have been affected by government dependency, particularly inner city minority neighborhoods. Since then, Blexit Foundation has founded over 35 state chapters, blah, blah, blah. She previously serves the host of Daily Wire, Candace, a political and cultural show that combined current events with Owens' signature blend of humor, firebrand analysis. She had also hosted the Candace Owens Show on PragerU, both of which she was fired from. Weekly deep dive podcast with a variety of figures across the political and cultural aisle. With a combined social media presence of over 11 million followers, hundreds of media interviews, 2 congressional committee testimonies, speeches at over 60 American and international universities, as well as speeches at events across the United States and Europe. She's become known as one of the most strident commentators in the modern political and cultural sphere. Prior to her entrepreneurial pursuits, she was the communications director for the student advocacy group Turning Point USA and worked at a private equity firm in Manhattan. We have still not seen any evidence about this private equity firm in Manhattan that I've heard of. Serving as vice president to their administration. I think that whole thing is sus. She attended the University of Rhode Island and took executive training courses in the New York University Stern School of Business. So there's that. That's not, she had help right now. I'll just say that, but not terrible. I do want to know more about the private equity firm nonsense. I do want to know more about that for sure.
That is very interesting. She never mentions it either, but
no,
only Erica can have anything on her resume that she hasn't explained.
Yeah, exactly.
Just say less. James the Least writes, being on the board of the U.S. Air Force Academy sounds like the kind of job that you would need a background check for. Certainly. Well, her background is, I'm Charlie's wife.
What are you going to get out of a background check? Does she have a criminal history? No, she doesn't. Not that I'm aware of. And
apparently the Fourth Amendment.
That.
Exactly. Fourth Amendment need not apply.
No, don't worry about that. There's literally, for the 6 political appointees, 2 of which, by the way, have to have graduated. So there's only 4 real appointees. There are no requirements whatsoever. You don't have to have a college degree. It's literally a presidential appointee. It's an honorary job. And maybe you can get in there and help contribute to, I don't know, give your opinion about some things. But there's 16 board members, 10 of which are basically congressmen or someone that they appoint, and then 6 additional appointees, 2 of which have to be graduates from the Air Force Academy itself.
Hear me roar. I'm Charlie's wife. Charlie was qualified, so why am I not qualified? Isn't that how it works? Don't I just instantly become my husband's very good at math. I'm not so good at math. But I guess just say I'm good at math, I guess.
I want to know what made Charlie qualified. Like what is it that he has Erica doesn't?
Well, first of all, what he doesn't have that Erica does is a college degree. She clearly has multiple of those. He doesn't have a college degree. She's had at least 2 successful businesses. I think the only business that Charlie was ever attached to was TPUSA itself. It's successful, obviously. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, on paper, you just put them side by side. Erica would be more qualified than Charlie.
Absolutely.
If you care about college degrees.
She even technically has like experience in defense for our country on the power grid.
Yeah.
Through her mom's company. She lobbied the government to get her mom's business pretty much. She gave the 5 reasons, which Candace won't even bring this up anymore. The weird commercial. Now we know what that was for, where she brought up the 5 reasons of vulnerability, or the 5 vulnerabilities to our grid.
You mean the video that proves that she was CIA?
Yeah, exactly. That won't even come up anymore now that it makes sense.
Oh, I've seen it like 5 times in the last, at least, probably more like a dozen times in the last couple of days. People down in my comments saying, "Well, she was CIA." I was like, "She's not. This is not a CIA video. Like, what are you talking about?"
Yeah, this is a pitch for defense that her mother was offering for
Yeah.
our cybersecurity.
Well, and yeah, I mean, it was specifically for I'll think of it a second. My brain is not working tonight, folks.
No, it's all good.
EMPs. All right.
Yeah.
EMP defense. That's what her company, her mother's company was. And she was out there pitching that to government entities and commercial entities too, by the way. It wasn't just government, but yeah, of course, that is somebody that you're going to go after that business with. So that just makes sense.
Absolutely.
This stupid woman makes my head hurt so much. She's never been held accountable and only gets away with it because everyone avoids walking red flag headache. Yeah, she is one red flag. Charlie got rich without a degree, unlike Candace needing to married a millionaire. And look, there's still questions about Candace's degree. I don't know that she actually has a degree. The only thing that I've read that confirmed anything was that she has met the requirements for a bachelor's degree. I don't think she ever actually graduated and got a degree, as far as I can find. Somebody prove me wrong. I don't care. It doesn't matter anyhow.
Exactly. I haven't seen it either, though. I mean, I've been covering her for 10 plus years or 9 plus years now. So,
or something.
Yeah.
Amy Loves Music writes, I know everything that you are saying is true. It's been going on for years. It's hard to trust anything. I love what you are doing, what you can to find out the truth for your friend Charlie. I am not sure anything will ever be done. I am saddened by how the world is so corrupt. I'm wondering, real estate in general, like, is that just sort of, are we doing illegal things? Right.
Real estate in general, are we doing illegal things? Now, if you're a realtor, you're part of the cabal. Like, that, it's so weird what she does. It's like she does it with the military. She does it with every little thing that comes across. Freemasons, like if she comes across something that she doesn't have direct knowledge of, which is 99.9% of the things in the world, she automatically, without any evidence, determines that it's suspicious, that it's nefarious, that it's evil. And here we are with real estate now.
Well, it's actually typical, though. With her, she's just fallen back into her habits of group identity politics. If you're part of this group, you're bad. We just lump you all in.
Arty, that is a great analysis, by the way. The identity politics brain. That's excellent point.
Money. It's like, tradition. It's pretty traditional. It's a traditional historical understanding.
You earned your salary today.
A lot of real estate involved in this story is all I'm saying. And I find, like I said,
a lot of real estate, folks. The house that I'm sitting in is involved in this. That was sold through a realtor. It's real estate.
Exactly.
Everyone's watching from what topic can you cover that real estate wouldn't be involved? It's so dumb.
Said her floating around Jeffrey Epstein in his orbit to be interesting. Very interesting. Miss Cato writes, I just don't get it. Had I been CK's wife, I would have had Candace and Tucker headlining his memorial and making his donors, who made him so fearful, regret the day that they started threatening him. You would be a normal person, right? You would have that anger. You would have that rage. You'd be like, I don't even want to look at you because of the last thing that you said to Charlie. That's how I felt. Not Erica. No, she was overcome with the spirit of the Lori or something and just was like, I feel the opposite. I want to make amends with his enemies and send my...
even when it makes no point, she throws Lori into this. A dying woman that she has nothing on. Nothing on. You have not pointed to a single thing that would make her a lesser person. That there's nothing that you have pointed to that would, anyone that was rational would say, this is an evil person. This is a bad person. She doesn't have a single thing on her record. She tried to go through it. And every time that she, it doesn't even make sense. She throws her into the conversation in a disparaging, negative way.
And I have all the sympathy for her mother's going through that Lyme disease and whatnot. That is a brutal, brutal thing to go through. It's an immense amount of pain. I mean, I don't think she even understands the first half of it. And I haven't seen a single word even quoted from Lori. That's the next interesting thing about it.
No, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing to point to that would indicate that she doesn't have good character and is of good moral standing. But this woman's dying, and every time that she gets a chance, she throws it under a bus, and it really bothers me.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
we know why.
Spiteful to go after the mother.
Well, and we know why she's doing it, because that's like all the other stuff that she's saying about Erica directly, I'm sure just rolls off Erica's back. But she knows the way to hurt Erica is to go after her mom, which doesn't deserve it. Erica doesn't either, but
PR person to attack his friends.
I agree. Mental disorder with
Beth writes, for anyone questioning how fiercely Candace and Charlie fought for each other, watch their Turning Point event in Hawaii. I saw it again recently and nearly cried. Even now, though he's gone, they still stand together in this battle. I have not seen that. I can't even remember like the context of what you're speaking about. I obviously remember going to Hawaii with Charlie, and it was a great time. I remember we were wearing leis. But yeah, I mean, it is a thing. It is a thing. We did always have each other's back. And I think that's partially what drives them crazy is they tried to spin a narrative that they know there's not a shred of proof for. There just isn't a shred of proof for the idea.
It's a great point. We know DEI is anti-rent. So that probably falls under why she has a problem with real estate.
That makes a lot of sense.
She was sued for what, $28,000, $31,000, something like that, for 6 months of back rent. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was $3,000 something a month.
Like $3,600 a month for 6 months, whatever that comes out to.
Yeah.
Plus some additional court fees. Yeah. About $18,000, $21,000, somewhere in there.
For the
everything and everybody is a murder of Charlie except for Tyler Robinson, the one who really killed him. I think that couldn't be stated any better than that right there. I think we've reached the apex, the climax of what we're going to get out of Candace today. I think I've reached the climax of what you're going to get out of me today.
It's just funny.
Give us a breakdown, Arty. What do we hear just now? What happened? What happened just now? A truck of stupidity hit me.
Absolutely. Well, what we do know for sure is Candace does know for sure who didn't do it.
That's true.
And that's it. She knows who didn't do it. She can't tell us anything. She can't give us any leads as to who did, but she does know what didn't happen that day. And that's the only thing that I still know. That's the only thing I've learned about Candace covering this entire topic.
That has been the only consistent thing. So let's just go down the list. You guys help me over in the chat because you guys it's hard to remember them all. So we had the French Foreign Legion did it, Israel. We had the Mormons and the beekeepers. We had, I don't even know where you tie in the Egyptian planes, but we had the Egyptian planes, all of which, everything I've mentioned so far, and we'll continue to mention, we have zero evidence supporting any of these things.
Oh yeah.
Anything outside of hearsay, anything outside of hearsay and or these anonymous tips. People in maroon shirts, the U.S. military, his security team. What else? What else are we missing?
Cavalry, church, Rob McCoy. I guess Rob McCoy would be lumped in with that. Yeah. Shoot, there's so many. It's the amount of information to have to keep up with from Candace is mind-blowing. But the best part about it is just the stuff that she ends up leaving out after she brings it up, because that's the part that's going to pile up.
Yep. The DuPonts that was thrown in there.
Yeah, them. Yeah.
I guess we've pulled in the Rothschilds, palm gun, Israeli trapdoor, the beam.
I feel like we're leaving something out. Something good too.
We are. The Green Beret.
So much. Yep.
Trump administration. Like it just like at what point if you're I just can't believe it. It just boggles my mind that like if you're following this, like there's no person, like I don't care who they were, if I believe them to be true. If I went through like 15 iterations, let's just say 3. If you've convinced me on 3 different suspects, 3 different times, at some point I would be like, all right, this is just dumb. Like how many times does she have to get it wrong and point the finger and accuse somebody else without someone finally saying, all right, like You just keep jumping from one narrative to the next, to the next, to the next, with the same amount of evidence every single time. There is none. That, I don't know.
It's mind-blowing to me. It's just fabrication after fabrication. It's one promise after another, and it just fails to be delivered every single time. It would have been nice if she started off. I mean, this wouldn't have gotten her any controversy if she would have just been going through stuff that was leaked to her without pointing the finger. She didn't have to go and say TPUSA betrayed him. She didn't have to go and say Erica Kirk is, all this stuff. It would have just been better if she held it close to her chest, released info that she thought was weird. But man, did she really have to go full gas pedal down on everything? But it doesn't bring in the numbers unless you do that.
No, it doesn't. There was somebody in the chat I'm looking forward again. I looked forward a couple times. I don't know why. Do you ever do that? Do you ever post something on your X account and then go look for it again and know when you post it, and it's just missing?
All the time. Now I just message myself anything that I want to keep relevant. I just send it to myself in the X messages.
Well, I do that too. I wasn't expecting someone to pull this up, but it's something I should have covered. Something I should have. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I got it right here. All right. There's some language in here, but this is important for people to know. Let me make sure I share this for you guys. So first of all, this is LH Gray. She puts out a lot of good content. You got to go follow her. She has some coarse language. She's not for everybody. Listen to the F Up America. I called this exact GD moment last week, and now the intercepts are screaming it from the rooftops. Iranian Quds Force, encrypted chatter lighting up the grid like an effing Christmas tree in hell. Sleeper cells activated. Not possibly, not maybe, activated. Confirmed through channels that make Langley's hair stand on end. These aren't these aren't cartoon jihadis in caves. They're pathology incarnate, metastatic tumors seeded years ago through our porous borders, our suicidal immigration theater, deliberate blindness of every spineless administration, yada, 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 yada. All right, what she's saying is that there are sleeper cells, terrorist sleeper cells, without a doubt, in this country, and they are being activated. And we'll play this.
ABC News reports Iran may be acting. Meantime, an alarming report of threats outside Iran. ABC News reports Iran may be activating sleeper cells. Quote, the U.S. has intercepted encrypted communications believed to have originated in Iran that may serve as an operational trigger for sleeper assets outside the country. If true, further illustrating Secretary of State Marco Rubio's point, we are fighting a terrorist government.
The United States is currently engaged in an operation targeting one of the world's leading hostage taker, the world's leading sponsor of terrorism. They are trying to hold the world hostage. They are attacking their neighbors. They are attacking neighboring countries, their energy infrastructure, their civilian population. They're attacking embassies. This is a terrorist government. This is a terroristic regime. And we are seeing them conduct terrorism using nation-state elements, using weapons like missiles and one-way attack drones. And the objective of this mission is to destroy their ability to continue to do that.
But Iran's.
All right. So another thing that I saw today, an intel report that I found credible, is Iran is trying to basically smuggle attack drones into the West Coast. Look, they're active, and not just Iran. We see the support that Iran is getting from the left, and you might as well just throw in Islam in there. And I don't even like saying radical Islamists. I don't think there's a distinction. Islam is radical in and of itself. It is not compatible with Western Christian society. That's where I stand on this. I don't care whose feelings get hurt about it. Don't care. That's how I feel. With that being said, so you know, we need to be paying attention, folks. You need to be armed. You need to get trained. You need to be trained in self-defense and home defense. You need to get trained in medical. We offer those types of courses. There's lots of other companies that offer great courses as well. Make sure you do some research into who your instructors are. And I don't care if you have been carrying a gun for 20 years. You need training. I think you'll see, and I get this all the time, folks, where people that consider themselves shooters that have never had training, and there's a difference between knowing how to shoot a gun and knowing how to fight with a gun. Those are very different concepts, and you need to know the latter. You need to know how to fight with a gun, and those are different. And there's a lot of things that if you go to one training session with me or another competent instructor out there, folks, you will see what your skill gaps, your information gaps actually were. And people are almost always surprised with that. So, stay armed, stay ready, be ready. Medical training. I can't stress that enough. Get medical training. You need a good traumatic injury course, a TCCC, TECC, something along those lines. And if it's NAEMT certified, that's even better because then you got a certificate. So there's that. Anything else to add to that, Arty?
No, just definitely make sure it's a little hyperbolic to say, but definitely, or not hyperbolic. It's just kind of common sense to say, but keep armed at all times. I mean, that's just the only thing you can do. And hopefully you don't live in a blue state.
Yeah, definitely makes it more difficult for sure. There's no doubt about it. They're not looking out for you. They're looking out for the criminals. Yeah. I'm going to let you guys know what we're going to do for our show tomorrow. Excuse me. The plan is to have Lady Luck on either tomorrow or the next day, but regardless, within the next 2 days, we'll be doing another show for sure. And I will definitely have a members only show. Make sure you guys go down in the links and follow Arty. He has a YouTube channel. You're on X. Any other social media sites they can follow you on, Arty?
Mainly just X and my YouTube channel. That's my main places.
If you haven't done so already, make sure you guys like, subscribe, all those things. We appreciate your love and support out there. I love you guys. You guys make this show worth doing. Hopefully you guys get something out of this, but most importantly, it does arm you with the truth and you know exactly what was said. And I just went through this yesterday. People were saying Candace said this and this was said about Erica, and I was able to immediately, no, that's not what was said at all, by the way. This is what actually was said. And you're taking you took this one woman that was making all these illogical leaps, and then from that you took another even further illogical leap, and now you're running with a narrative that doesn't actually exist.
That's exactly how she is.
Yep, 100%. Oh, here we go. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if she blamed Channing Tatum or the Men in Black. Yeah. What is your training schedule being? When is your training schedule being released? Folks, that is always a point of contention with us. We always plan to get it out much sooner than, look, at the end, it's soon. That's all I can give you. And it'll be as soon as we can. The problem is, just to give you guys some insider baseball information, is we're always working with, we have to get our long range courses established first, which is always a challenge with the facility that we use. We're also looking to expand that and find some other facilities, so this isn't such an issue. We have to get those established first. We get the dates from them, and then we got to play monkey see, monkey do with our instructors to make sure that those dates work for them. And once that's established, then we can offer our tactical carbine, our handgun courses outside of those dates. So it's always a logistical nightmare, and those will be up soon. So thank you for your patience on that. And the answer is, we'll always be to that question as soon as we possibly can. But I am looking for some additional long-range facilities to where we don't run into some of these challenges. The place that we do long-range at, they rely heavily on some federal and military contracts where people are, not even contracts, but federal and military units that want to come rent the range for certain days. And so he always leaves it open to them first. And once that's established, we kind of get the leftovers, which I understand they pay probably a lot more than we do. So that's just the nature of the beast. Gary, my wife is an EMT ambulance. What are your thoughts or advice when she gets a call in potential situations like a possible attack? Her company hasn't touched on it as of late. Look, there are, and we teach them, actually, so we're one of the few private companies on the East Coast that is NAEMT certified. So it's National Association of Emergency Medical Technicians. So for continuing training hours and things like that, when you come to our courses, if you're an EMT, a paramedic, and multiple other, and we offer some law enforcement courses too. Point is, there are clear guidelines that are established, really smart guidelines established how to address some of those things. And I would say that her company needs to send her to one of those courses, whether it's ours or somebody else's. You need to understand the difference between medicine in a non-tactical environment, a non-threatening environment, and how you conduct medicine in a threatening environment, whether it's an active shooter, active threat, whatever it is. And if she's not getting that training, I would say that company is not doing the right thing, to say the least. put that as mildly as possible. No, I don't recommend getting a beer and a gun. If I understand that correctly, let me just so I know. I think it's the little pepper ball guns. Number one, I haven't. Yeah, that's what it is. I haven't tested those, but here's what I can tell you. I know that it's CO2, and I work with a lot of CO2 guns, whether they be, we have some SEM guns that are CO2, some little airsoft guns for training and things like that. And CO2 is not very reliable. The last thing that I would want to do is have to rely on that for my life, or definitely wouldn't give it to a loved one to rely on. I think you're much better off getting a taser if you're not comfortable carrying an actual firearm, or you're in a state that doesn't allow you. I would look at getting some sort of taser. And, you know, even that, like, I think everybody should be carrying a gun. Like, if you are met with potential deadly force, you need to respond with deadly force. That's the only thing that ultimately works. But a taser could be an option. They're expensive. I'm not impressed with these things. I'm sitting here looking at all these things. I'd like to review them, and I may down the road, but it's CO2, and there's a lot of limitations with CO2.
I think they leak over time as well. So, I mean, just having one in your purse or something like that seems
No,
like a bad idea.
Yeah, no, that's part of the issue, and they misfire all the time.
Yeah.
Last thing I'd want to do is ever bet my life on a CO2 activated pistol or rifle. Please, just not a peacemaker. Won't be a peacemaker for a host of reasons. Any courses tailored to disabled people? I won't say that we have courses tailored to disabled people, but we've had disabled people come to many of our courses and many different disabilities. We always make it work. I've had people out there on wheelchairs. I've had people out there with, you know, can barely walk or have dexterity issues with their hands and everything else. Like, we got professional. Look, the thing that makes us very different than most training companies is we require that all of our instructors have real world operational experience. Like, our instructor didn't just go and sit in a 4-hour NRA course for $100 and next thing you know, bam, they're an instructor. I have a real problem with that, especially if you're teaching tactics. Now, if you're just teaching, you know, how to shoot a gun, which I think is not all, like, I'll say this. Our instructors have real world operational experience, at least 5 years. So they're either law enforcement, and almost, matter of fact, all of our guys on the law enforcement side have been SWAT operators for a really long time. And they're also firearms instructors. Then I have a whole other guys that are mostly former special operations that have worked at a federal agency and or the military as instructors for multiple years. So I think, you know, it's one thing to be able to do, and there's a lot of folks out there that can handle themselves, that are really good shooters, that are really good tacticians. They're not good teachers. And our guys are the exact opposite. They know how they know what makes sense to teach people, and then they can get you there very efficiently, because you're not going to be standing there like, oh, I've never seen that before. They know how to teach you extremely efficiently. And I think most of you, if you ever come to our courses, and I'm sure there's probably people in the chat that have, I think almost everybody is surprised at how far they advanced in just one course or 2 courses or 3 courses. Like, you know, I'm pretty proud of the curriculum that we have put together, the practical application of what we teach. All of that's very important. I'm just curious if you have classes in the Montana area. I'm ex-military and law enforcement, so I would love to attend a mid-skills class. No, we don't. We don't have any classes out there. I do want to get out west. I've played with it a few times here and there, and we've started moving that direction, and then it fades off. Just such a logistic nightmare, to be honest with you, to do courses. But I keep your ear to the ground. We may have some courses out west. Courses for seniors. Yeah. So our defensive handgun level 1, tactical carbine level 1. I mean, look, we're going to be able to accommodate you. That's the other thing that's really important to me, is we never have an instructor to student ratio greater than 1 in 5. So, you know, it's usually more like 1 in 4, sometimes even 1 in 3. So you're going to get personal instruction time with every single person who's going to get that. It's going to be a personalized experience. We're not just going to teach one thing and expect everybody to do the exact same thing. You know, when we're teaching handgun, we're looking at everybody's grips. We're looking at everybody's anatomy, and we're adjusting to make sure that things make sense for you. Like the same technique that works for somebody that has large hands doesn't work for somebody that has small hands. And we address all of those things and are constantly looking at you and making sure that you're doing things correctly and not just good at doing things wrong, right? That's where people mess up. Like, I've been shooting for 20 years. Yeah, you just spent 20 years getting really good at doing things wrong. No offense to anybody out there, but I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. You apply some technique and do things correctly, and then get your mind right, which we help you. You'll be surprised at how well you perform. Cool. We gotta get you down for a course, Arty. Come down and hang out. Bring the fam.
Heck yeah, I'd be down.
Go out, shoot some guns in West Virginia. Woo!
Heck yeah. No, I'd be super down for that anytime.
Oh, well, we'd love to have you. I think it'd be great. We'll get you down here.
Heck
all
yeah,
right, folks. Yeah, I'm gonna go try to get better. It's nothing worse than the man flu. Worse than
a hot toddy
multiple times over. Anyways. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate all your love and support. We love you back. And until next time, stay armed, stay ready. Talk to you.